The following is a presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball, brought to you by the Gatemen Baseball Network in conjunction with the Cape Cod Baseball League.
As the summer of 2017 continues, the Wareham Gatemen are right in the middle of the Cape Cod Baseball League playoff race.
Line shot by Antia. This one is back. It's far bye-bye baseball. A two-run homer for Jake Antia.
Drive this one to deep right field. Heading back is Pompey. He's at the track, leaps and makes the play. What a play by Tristan Pompey.
Called strike three in the inside part. Griffin Roberts
swings and drives this one deep to left field. That one is into the trees.
With stellar pitching and timely hitting, Gatemen have taken the West Division by storm.
The 0-2 from Fioli, called strike three.
Throwing back to first base, McIver, and the tag is in time from Sable.
Sends it to right field. Going back is the right fielder. That one's gone. Tanner Dodson.
And now, the push for Wareham's 8th league championship heats up.
Duran swings and hits this one through the gap. Rounding third and heading for home is John Topa. The throw to the plate is not in time, and Topa will score.
The breaking ball called strike three. Dalton Roach strikes out the side.
1-2. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brett Canine.
Lines it right back up the middle for a base hit. On the first pitch, Baird rounds third. He's going to come home and score.
Metz sends it down the right field line. It's in for a base hit. Rounding third. Coming home is Duran. He will score. And the Wareham Gatemen are now winners of 5 in a row. The Gatemen walk it off at Spillane Field. How do you like that?
It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball, and it's live on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Welcome out to Spillane Field, everybody, as the Wareham Gatemen, who try to snap a 6-game losing streak, host the first place Orleans Firebirds at Spillane Field. Jacob Toby with Connor Federico this evening. Claudia Chikamian, our sideline reporter, on hand, as well as our producer, Matt Weasel there. Don't forget about our beat writer, Matthew Feld. The Firebirds coming into today 26-13. They sit at first place in the Eastern Division, 52 points, 7-3 in their last 10. The Wareham Gatemen sitting at 4th place in the West, 16-21-1, 33 points in the division, and they've been on that 6-game losing streak.
It's been a tough 6-game losing streak, to say the least. And in the open we play before each game, the final call is your walk-off call. That was a week ago now. The Gatemen have not won since last Saturday, Robbie Metz RBI single against the Chatham Anglers, and that's just, it's really been a tough going for the Gatemen. It's actually been longer than last Saturday. Last Saturday was the All-Star game.
So you're right.
It's been since last Thursday that the Gatemen haven't won, and you really need to get one of these in this home and home against the Orleans Firebirds, and that is such a tough task to ask of these Gatemen, but you have to do it at this point. You're almost in panic mode.
Yeah, panic mode at that for the Wareham Gatemen. We talked about it on the pregame show. I talked about it with our beat writer, Matt Feld. The Gatemen won 8 in a row going into the playoffs last year, and now they're losing 6 in a row with only a couple games to go. You take a look at the Western Division. Falmouth leading it right now by a point over Bourne. 20-18-1 is Falmouth's record. Bourne 20-18. Katuitt sitting at 500, 18-18-1. Wareham and then Hyannis in the cellar, 13-22-3, but not too much in the cellar because they're right up on your tail.
It's only 4 points, and that translates to 2 wins for the Harbor Hawks and none for the Gatemen. I mean, the way it's going for Wareham, you figured that's impossible. Well, they haven't won in their last 6 games. They've played good baseball. That's the most frustrating part about all of this. 3 of the 6 losses in this 6-game losing streak by 1 run. You've played some good, you've had the good pitching, you've had the good hitting, but it just hasn't synced up on similar nights. Big offensive games, big pitching outings for some of these guys, and they just can't get it together. This has to be a group effort tonight against the best group in the league, rightfully so. They have been all year. The Orleans Firebirds, 28 homers. They've got the power, they've got the speed, they've got everything.
Take a look at the Orleans starting lineup. Jimmy Herron, one of the best players in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. Usually the center fielder, but will be the DH today. Ethan Paul, the all-star, is at second base. Romy Gonzalez is the shortstop. He bats third. Steven Scott in left field leads the league in RBIs. Nico Decolati in center field. Brandon Shearer, the third baseman. Lars Newbar batting seventh. He's at first. Brandon Riley, the right fielder, bats eighth. Austin Hale, the catcher, he will bat ninth. And taking a look at the Wareham defense, Willie McIver is at third. Kyle Kasser, the shortstop. Jaron Duran at second. Blake Sable at first. Left to right in the outfield, John Topa, Stephen Kwan, Robbie Metz. Jake Anchia does the catching for Fitzpatrick Stadler.
Fitz Stadler, his job tonight is to locate, and he needs to do it perfectly in order to get away from this Orleans lineup. You're going to be going deep into the counts. You need to expect that. The whole pitching staff needs to tonight, because if you throw an 0-1 fastball down the center of the plate, or you try to go with the changeup down the center of the plate, get ahead 0-2, you're going to get burned. And that's what this Orleans lineup has been so good at this season, hitting .272 between all the Firebirds. They've been a great group to watch. It's going to be a tough game for the Gatemen, and Fitz Stadler needs to get that downward action going. That's his calling card.
Richard Cacciatore, the home plate umpire. Jeff January at first. And Pat Sparky Burns at third. And strike one taken by Jimmy Herron. We are underway at Spillane Field, and it's been windy here. It's been overcast, but now the sun is finally out.
What a beautiful night for baseball. 65 degrees at first pitch. The wind blowing out of the northeast at 14 miles an hour. We'll talk about that wind a little later. 75 degrees, humidity at first pitch, and it's only going down tonight. And the sunset will be around 8:03. Good thing we have lights here at Spillane.
Patrick Sotu is out and away, 1-2. Jimmy Herron, 358, 4 home runs, and 15 runs batted in. Stadler's 1-2. His chip foul. Herron coming into today second in the league in batting average, 358. Third in hits with 48, and fifth in runs scored with 25. The Duke Blue Devil. One-two sent foul off to the left.
Nice snag made by one of the Orleans Firebirds in the dugout, reaching out a hand and making a good grab. Herron, a righty at the top of this lineup. We'll see about even in terms of righties and lefties. Big disadvantage for the power-hitting lefties in the Birds lineup. The wind blowing right in from right field towards the plate.
1-2, popped up in foul territory. Here comes Blake Sable, the first baseman. He will put Herron away for out number one.
That's exactly how I see most of these at-bats going for Fitz Stadler tonight. You get yourself in a 2-2 count, you get ahead, you waste a couple of pitches, and you leave the Firebirds guessing on an even count or something around there. It's the way that Stadler is going to have to be successful tonight. You're not going to get early strikeouts against these Birds. You really just have to attack them, try to get ground balls late in the count.
Ethan Paul, the Vanderbilt product, takes ball one outside. Paul, 313, 2 home runs, and 12 RBIs. One of 2 All-Stars that was a returning All-Star from a season ago.
Has great power despite his 5'10 frame.
Sends this one on a line, and a nice play from Kasser. Thought it would sneak into left field. No, sir, says Kyle Kasser, 2 outs.
Yeah, think again, Ethan Paul. Really good piece of hitting right there. He sends it the opposite way. A pitch on the outer half. Good pitch by Fitz Stadler. He hasn't made a mistake pitch yet right now, really hitting Jake Anchia's targets, and that's what he needs to continue to do, especially against a hitter like Gonzalez.
Gonzalez swings at the first pitch, and Duran tried to jump at that one. It was a little bit over his head. First pitch swinging was Romy Gonzalez, and he gets on with 2 outs.
Well, Paul and Gonzalez have now both made very good contact on consecutive pitches. Gonzalez takes this one the other way, puts it right over Duran's head. Like you said, really good placement. If he had a little more power on that one, might have gotten a double out of it. But base runners are base runners, and Stephen Scott last Saturday hit 9 home runs here at Spillane in the Cape Cod Baseball League home run hitting contest.
Scott will bat from the left side. 318, 6 home runs, and a league-leading 30 runs batted in.
Yeah, it was a short porch for him in right field the last time he was here, but today against Stadler.
The check over at first base, and diving back safely was Gonzalez.
Yeah, today against Stadler, that's not going to be the case, especially with the wind blowing in. I haven't felt this much wind here. It says 14 miles an hour on the forecast out of the northeast. It feels more like 20 to 25.
1-0, popped in for strike 1.
You can hear it in our mics right now. I mean, the other thing is that usually the wind doesn't blow a lot here at Spillane. It usually doesn't blow in. It's gonna be a real helpful thing for the pitcher, both pitchers tonight.
Scott takes 2 balls and 1 strike. Scott also a Vanderbilt product. Teammates with Ethan Paul. Makes contact to Kasser. Runs it over himself, tags second base. And that will end the inning. Firebirds, they leave 1 runner on, and they can't score. We're headed to the bottom of the first at Spillane Field. No score. Keep it locked right here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
The Down East Lobster Roll combos are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Back at Spillane Field, the weather has turned out quite nicely. After a overcast majority of the day, batting practice was not on the field, it was in the cages. But now the sun is shining. Let's go through the Wareham starting lineup. Stephen Kwan is the center fielder, he leads it off. Tanner Dodson back in the lineup after missing a couple days. He's the DH. Kyle Kasser, Willie McIver at third, Jaron Duran, Robbie Metz, John Topa in left field, Jake Anchia doing the catching, Blake Sable bats ninth, he's at first. We'll take a look at the defense for the Orleans Firebirds. Brandon Shearer is at third, Romy Gonzalez the shortstop, Ethan Paul at second, Lars Newbar at first. Left to right in the outfield, Stephen Scott, Nico Decolati, Brandon Riley, Austin Hale does the catching for Brett Daniels.
Daniels on the mound today for Orleans. He only stands 6'0", 192 pounds. Not the tallest of pitchers, especially going up against 6'9" Fitz Stadler tonight. The thing to look out for is his changeup, and he'll break it out in all sorts of counts. He might even on the first pitch right here. Not afraid to pitch backwards, not afraid to throw a steady die to changeups.
Kwan will take strike one.
Daniels usually in a relieving role this summer for Orleans, coming from UNC.
Kwan, high chopper to the first baseman, Newbar. He'll flip onto his pitcher, Daniels, for out number one.
We've seen Stephen Kwan beat out a number of infield hits this season. He can't get it done right here. It's because that the pitcher, Daniels, was sprinting the entire way. He knows what Stephen Kwan is capable of. Clearly has a good knowledge of this Gatemen lineup, just one batter through, and it'll be exciting to see Tanner Dodson back in the lineup tonight.
Dodson out the past couple days, a little banged up, but nothing to be concerned about. Dodson on the season, league leading .372 batting average, 1 home run and 14 ribbies. That 1 home run coming about a week ago at Stony Brook Field in Brewster.
Yeah, you see Dodson has that protection on his outside foot towards the plate. He always does, so that's nothing new, but what was different over the past 3 days, it was wrapped up, and now the wrapping's gone.
Chops the 1-2 foul.
Yeah, what you just want to be careful of is he doesn't chop a ground ball off his foot or gets hit in that area. That's what aggravated it in the first place, getting hit by a pitch down there.
Daniels 1-2. Oh, it hits him in the shoulder. When you talk about chopping it off himself, Daniels doing it for him. He hits him right in the shoulder.
Well, isn't that what I was just saying? Tanner Dodson doesn't want. I mean, he probably wants to stand in and hit there. Has only had one at-bat in the last couple of days. He gets plunked right in the shoulder. He's looking like an Iron Man right now, Tanner Dodson, and he's one of the guys for the Gatemen that can do it all, and I guess do it all and stay in the game and keep yourself healthy. That's really admirable.
Kyle Kasser, 294, no home runs, 11 RBIs. Swings right through the first pitch.
Kasser's had a good past couple of days. Big 3 RBI night against the Brewster Whitecaps the last time the Gatemen were at Spillane, just 2 days ago. The Gatemen have had base running troubles too lately, but have not been stealing bases with the same aggression that they had in the beginning of the season. Really like to see Tanner Dodson make something happen with his legs if he's up for it.
1-1 is hit foul. You talk about them not being as aggressive on the base paths. They're still first in the league in stolen bases with 62.
Yeah, and they've also been struggling on the base paths a little bit, getting picked off. It's really been a tale of 2 seasons for the Gatemen in terms of base running, but right now they still have that league lead just because of McIver and Sable and guys who did it so often in the beginning of the year. Sable, another stolen base yesterday.
1-2 in the dirt. No advancement from Dodson. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Kasser, the Oregon product. Swings this one on to Gonzalez, so we'll go to second for 1 to first, not in time. So Kasser will reach on the fielder's choice. Dodson retired at second base.
Tailor-made double play ball there for Romy Gonzalez. The problem is Kyle Kasser just a bit too fast, and talking to him before the All-Star game, he says the one thing he's learned this summer is how to hit in the 3-hole, and he has the speed to be a leadoff guy at the top of the lineup for Oregon. So many leadoff guys throughout this Gatemen lineup. You have Jaron Duran, he's in the 5-hole tonight, has spent time in the 4-hole, 7-hole as well.
McIver, he swings this one on to Gonzalez, same exact play, flips on to second base, retires Kasser to end the inning. We are through 1 at Spillane, headed to the top of the second here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Listen to the game wherever you go with the Next Radio app. Catch this station's local broadcast or stream all the action right on your phone. Visit the Google Play Store and download the free Next Radio app today.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Friendly's Restaurants, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together 2 of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
Welcome back to Spillane Field. Jacob Toby and Connor Federico. Make sure to email the broadcast team if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this broadcast with the email pressbox@gatemen.org. Also follow the Wareham Gatemen on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. This is Nico Decolati, hits it right off the glove of Stadler on the first pitch, and he's going to get to first base.
Yeah, and it's a good job knocking it down by Stadler. Otherwise, it's into center field. He just gets a little unlucky that his momentum from his arm shooting up forced the ball downwards out of his glove and into the ground. So the Birds have a base runner on here.
Brandon Shearer, the third baseman. Now with Decolati at first. Shearer. This is his 5th game with the Birds. He is 1 for 6.
2 consecutive Loyola Marymount guys from Southern California. Coach Nicholson for the Birds coaches at Loyola High School in Los Angeles.
Stadler's 1-0. Hit on the ground. Duran looking for the double play. And they convert it. Easy enough there. 2 gone.
Easy enough hasn't been the case for the Gatemen as of recently. The middle infield struggling to turn double plays, but not in that instance right there. 4-6-3. A perfect toss from Duran right into the chest of Kasser. He makes a good toss to first with plenty of time, and that's what you love to see from this defense. Fitz Stadler very happy with that one. He gets 2 ground balls in this inning, and that is exactly the key to success for him.
Lars Newbar stepping in. He swings on the first pitch. Kasser on the run, and that is a quick inning for Fitz Stadler. Newbar retired 6-3, headed to the bottom of the second. Still no score at Spillane. Suns out.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the visiting team, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2017 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod Potato Chips, Friendly's Ice Cream, Baseball Factory, Cape and Island License Plate, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5 Cents Saving Bank, Stop and Shop, Peapod. We'll be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
Jaron Duran, Robbie Metz, John Topa to face Brett Daniels. The UNC product just finished up his junior season. This is his 12th appearance for the Birds and his second start. His no win-loss record, 0-0, a 3 flat ERA, 17 strikeouts, 4 walks. And now Jaron Duran will step in to face Daniels. Duran hitting .278, no home runs and 9 RBIs.
He's been an impressive hitter over the past 5 to 10 games.
Swings on the first pitch and sends it foul.
Finding his swing, and his hands right now are the quickest I've seen all summer from him. Really looks like he's getting into a bit of a groove, keeping his hands on the inner half, and he's up with any sort of baseball. One on the inside corner, he can slap one to the opposite field. It's been really impressive to watch Duran, and you know, something that he does that not a lot of other guys do. It's almost Ichiro-esque, the way he swings and shifts his momentum towards first base, so he's always ready to run. It's his game. It's different, but it's great.
Trying to work out of an 0-2 count, takes ball 1.
These Gatemen hitters, as of recently, have not been fazed by 2-strike counts. In fact, they've been doing some really good things with 2-strike counts and defensive swings.
1-2 is call strike 3. Richard Cacciatore ringing up Jaron Duran for out number 1.
Well, maybe not on that occasion. It was just too good of a pitch by Daniels right there. Little breaking ball goes back door. That one starts basically in the opposing batter's box, the right-handed batter's box, and tails in on the outer half of the plate. Good pitch there by Daniels, and that's going to be one of his keys to success, keeping these Gatemen eye levels in different spots.
Robbie Metz, the birthday boy, swings on this one and sends it foul down the right field line. Happy 21st to Metzy. Metz on the season, .284, no home runs and 6 runs batted in. He's quickly down to no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Daniels not caring about Metz's birthday. He wants to get outs in this second inning, just like his counterpart Fitz Stadler did.
Metz will be a senior this year at George Washington. One, two. Up the middle. In for a base hit. Happy birthday, Robbie Metz.
Well, good piece of hitting right there. One just over the center of the plate, and Metz puts a good swing on it, puts it right back where it came from, up the center, right past the mound, and Daniels was not going to get his glove on that one. Too well hit, and the middle infield had no chance. So good piece of hitting by Robbie Metz, and that's what he's been able to do over the past couple of the days for the Wareham Gatemen. Had 2 hits yesterday against Falmouth.
John Topa, the Yukon Husky. Metz goes on the first pitch. It is a hit and run, and Gonzalez trips in the infield, the shortstop. Metz will head to third. And now the Gatemen have runners at the corners with 1 out.
That might have been the most perfectly executed hit and run I've seen from the Gatemen this summer. Hard to tell if John Topa wanted to roll over that one the way he did, but he hit it right to where Gonzalez was. Instead, Gonzalez was going to cover the bag on the hit and run by Metz. Because of the bad base running we've seen lately, we haven't seen a ton of hit and runs in recent weeks. And John Topa converts right there. He hit into 2 double plays yesterday after Robbie Metz had a single. So that's a really nice change of pace for him. That's normally a double play ball, but he converts the hit and run right there.
Jake Anchia has a chance to give the Gatemen a lead in this ball game. 226, 4 home runs, which leads the Gatemen. 14 RBIs as well.
Baseball's just funny, Jacob. 2 ground balls to start off the inning for Fitz Stadler, 2 outs. Pitch out pretty smart there, see if John Topa's going to go. But 2 ground balls after a strikeout of Duran, and suddenly Daniels is in a bit of a jam. So things working out a little better for the Gatemen at Spillane. You just have to find a way to get Metz to touch home.
Time called at the plate. So Metz at third and John Topa at first.
Whole infield at double play depth, nobody in.
And Anchia sends this one to the right center field gap, and it will fall. Metz comes home to score. Anchia headed to second. They're going to wave around Topa. Topa will score as well. 2 runs. Get up and jump. It's 2-0 Gatemen.
Great piece of hitting right there for Jake Anchia. He saw a pitch on the inner half of the plate, went with the inside out approach instead of trying to pull that one. He sends it straight into the wind, and the wind added to the top spin of that ball and sent it right down in between the center fielder Decolati and the right fielder Riley. 2-run score. John Topa all the way from first. Good call by Jimmy Francos over there, giving him the wave around third. Just a great piece of hitting. Gatemen rolling early.
Blake Sable, as this pitch bounces to the plate. Sable 198, 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, but recently he has been red hot at the plate. Had the home run yesterday, the lone run for Wareham, the solo shot in the second inning.
He's going to have to find a different way than the long ball today, just because of the wind, and the Spillane fences are so much further out than they are at Gov Fuller Field. The whole football thing, the football field thing, shouldn't be an excuse, because Spillane is the same thing for most months of the year.
Nice grab from Hale behind the plate. Sable 4 for 8 in his last 2 ball games. Can see the youngster starting to find his way at a time where Wareham needs any offense they can get.
Him and Mason Fioli were a great combo yesterday, the younger guys. Anchia not a threat to run on you, but he is looking for a good secondary lead here. If you'd recall, in the bottom of the 9th inning against Brewster 2 days ago, Sable with the bases loaded, 2 outs, had a hit in the center field. Just John Topa didn't have a good enough secondary lead.
Sable slaps this one to left, curling foul, and it will be foul.
Anchia has a good secondary lead over there right now, and you know, part of the reason John Topa didn't have a great lead yesterday on the hit by Sable is that you don't want to get picked off at second base to end the inning and end the game. So he was going to be a little more conservative in that situation. That's fine, but Anchia may be learning something from that, and nobody's holding him on right now.
2-2 to Daniels. This one sent out to right field. Riley under it to make the catch. Anchia will not tag.
Off the bat, that felt like it was going to travel a lot further than it did, and that's possibly the wind knocking it down. Sable, like we said earlier, he's going to have to find other ways to get on base today, which he has, but the long ball is not going to be the solution for him or for any Gatemen today, or the Birds for that matter, who have been really good at hitting home runs. So this wind, the walls here at Spillane, it's going to change the approach of both these teams. I think Don Sneddon will take that. I think that favors the Gatemen today.
First pitch taken low from Stephen Kwan, who grounded out to first base just an inning ago.
Impressive. The Gatemen have batted around in just 2 innings against Brett Daniels and the Firebirds. This is a game the Firebirds are expecting to win in their chase for the East Division crown. Well, it's not a chase. They're leading from the front. It's a chase for everybody else.
2-0, up the middle, bounces off the mound. Nice snag from Gonzalez, throws on the run, and retires Kwan. Not before. Jake Anchia delivers a 2 RBI double, driving in Metz and Topa. Gatemen up 2-0. We head to the third. Gotta like that.
Continuing with our corporate sponsors, we also want to recognize and thank Franklin Sports, Advanced Embroidery, Cape Destinations, Robert B. R., Sullivan Tire, Vacation Inn Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate, Next Radio, Yellow Book, TSA, Rawlings, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, Highline Cruises, Sports Picks, On Deck Sports, Barnstable Bat, Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, H.P. Hood, Sunderland Printing, and Axis Bats. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians, expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care. The Wareham Gatemen are up 2-0 over the best team in the East, the Orleans Firebirds. 8-9-1 to bat here versus Fitz Stadler. Brandon Riley, the right fielder, will lead it off.
Go Gatemen, baby. A really nice second inning for Jake Anchia. Also Fitz Stadler on the mound. It's got to be nice for Stadler, throwing to the guy who just gave you the run support. I bet these two are clicking on all levels right now. And she has been a lot of fun to watch for this team. A temp player at the beginning of this season. We didn't know if he was going to stay on the roster very long, and he's gone the distance. He's made a difference. Gatemen have appreciated everything he's done.
Riley, right to Jaron Duran for an easy out number 1.
It looks easy, but Duran moving pretty far to his right to make that play. He's got such great range, as does Kasser over there at shortstop, and when he plays third sometimes, those two up the middle of the infield, they are just a joy to watch. They make it look like it's nothing at all. Fitz Stadler, he's giving up ground balls, which is good, but they're hard hit.
Austin Hale will take strike 1. The Stetson product in his 16th game with the Firebirds. 7 for 42 with 4 RBIs. Connects in this one, sends it to shallow left center. Kasser out there for out number 2.
This wind is knocking those high fly balls down. Hale, I think on another day, that one travels closer to the wall than it does towards the infield. So that one ended up being in shallow left center, like you said, Jacob, sort of just out of the shadows over there on the left side of the field. This wind is really interesting, and the thing with winds against is that it always knocks balls down more than it does the other way.
Jimmy Herron, first pitch swinging, and nice play from Jaron Duran, and that will end the inning. So the Wareham Gatemen, they keep their 2-0 lead, looking for more in the bottom of the third. Stay tuned on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
The Sacred Cod Tavern at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa, a quintessential New England dining experience for lunch or dinner. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Welcome back to Gatemen Baseball. I'm Claudia Chicamia with a quick game break. So the Gatemen, as we know, are struggling into today's game. Not a lot of things are going well for them. They're entering on a 6-game losing streak, but the team is not let down by this. They're still holding their heads high. And I talked to some of the pitchers, including Brett Canine, before the game. He said that they're all really still feeling positive, and they've seen the effort that the Gatemen have been putting in every single game. The past few games have been very close, just one-run differences, and they just can't get it, and they feel like they're just so close to getting that winning run across, and that's what they're doing here right now. They scored early against a very good Orleans Firebirds team. And the guys are saying that they're not concerned about how good Orleans is. They just are going out there and they're enjoying their time here, and that's what it's really all about. So like they said, you know, they're so close and they have the faith. They keep believing that's the most important part. They're not worried about what the past games. It's a brand new day, and they're starting off pretty well. So back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Bottom of the third, and Dotson swinging on the first pitch. It ricochets off the screen, protecting the Orleans Bat Boys. And also where head coach Kelly Nicholson stakes out from time to time, like right now.
Good thing that net was there.
Dotson chops it off himself in the box. Got hit by a pitch back in the first. Keeping an eye on that right leg.
That's exactly where that foul ball went off of. Thankfully, it looks like Dotson is fine. I think he's just readjusting his straps here. He's not in much pain, but man, he's supposed to be taking care of that right shin to foot area, and it's getting a beating so far.
It is Dotson, Kasser, and McIver in this inning. And Dotson misses a couple games, comes back. He's still the leading batter in the CCBL.
Well, he missed some at-bats, and he probably would have had hits in those anyway.
That's got to feel good. You're battling against, right now, Jimmy Herron, who's right up there in batting average. Second.
And Alec Boehm from Falmouth is going home.
He was third just a couple days ago. We got that news before the broadcast this evening. Alec Boehm from Falmouth, the infielder, headed home. 2-2 pitch, up and away. And I predicted that he may win the MVP in this league.
I mean, he was supposed to be in the lineup last night, and you think if he was, he would have done some great things. Maybe it would have been more than a 2-1 win.
Dotson strikes out. He does not agree with Richard Cacciatore, the home plate umpire, but he will strike out for out number one. Yeah, talking to Blake Bernard, the Falmouth broadcaster, before yesterday's game, he sent me the new lineup, and he said that Boehm had some ice on his back, I believe, so nothing official.
That was not more than 15 minutes before we went on the air. No, it was when we were on the air. It was probably 15 minutes before game time.
Yeah, during pregame we found out. His Kasser swings and misses on a breaking ball.
Well, there's that changeup on the first pitch of an at-bat. That's what Daniels isn't scared to do at all. Go off speed. He's not as a traditional as a pitcher where you go fastball on every first pitch. Not afraid to mix it up. And I read a great piece from Sports Illustrated a couple of days ago how the fastball is declining in usage from some of the best teams in Major League Baseball. It's still by far and away the most used pitch, but instead of 65%, it's going down towards 50% for some of the best teams in the bigs.
Daniels' last outing was on July 26th at Doran Park versus the Bourne Braves. A 5-3 loss for the Firebirds. Kasser will take the walk. Daniels made a relief appearance, pitched an inning and struck out a batter. But he walks Kasser with one out.
The Gatemen, they didn't have their leadoff runner on in the second. They got a base hit from Robbie Metz and then 2 runs scored. Here, the same sort of situation, 1 out and a runner on first. Wonder if the Gatemen will deploy the hit and run again. But you know Willie McIver's got some special sorts of powers in his bat. He can get a hit no matter the situation.
Kasser goes. It is a hit and run, but out in front was McIver. He sends it foul.
Yeah, I think he was a little too eager on that hit and run, was expecting fastball, and again, on an 0-0 count, we see Daniels go with something off speed. That looked like his breaking ball right there. McIver just a bit ahead of it. Couldn't put it in play.
McIver 4 for his last 22. After such a hot start, he has struggled a tad bit.
Well, he's still a defensive mainstay for the Gatemen, both behind the plate. We haven't seen him at third base in quite a while, but you really like what he can do with his bat. He can drive runs in. As you said, he did that so well in the beginning of the summer.
McIver looks at strike 3. Second strikeout in the inning for Daniels, both looking. He got Dodson, now he gets McIver, 2 gone.
And Jaron Duran, who's up now, also struck out looking back in the second. All 3 strikeouts for Daniels today are looking. The ones to Duran and McIver were pretty obvious, but I don't think Tanner Dodson liked his strike 3 call. But Daniels doing a good job, and so far the strikeout pitch has been the fastball. The hitters are expecting something off speed, and then they get frozen by that fastball. They have no choice but to look at it.
Duran to foul territory down the left field line, and it will be out of play. That is the toughest spot to see here from the press box, is around the corner, around the bleachers, down the third base line, because there's a lot of territory over there.
There is. You have the football uprights that the left fielder will try to avoid. We saw John Topa make a really good sliding catch over there earlier in the season. He's been very comfortable out in this left field, knows that there's lots of space for him to range into. You never see Topa give up on a ball.
Duran fouls it off of the catcher, Hale. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think Kyle Kasser would be a little disappointed if he was stranded over there at first. He's been put in motion twice since getting there.
Oh-2 on the ground. Ethan Paul bobbles it for a moment to first, and Duran is safe. The slightest bobble from Ethan Paul, allowing Jaron Duran to scurry to first.
Yep, I think Paul was just looking for the short way over to second. That's where his momentum was taking him, but he took his eye off the ball, was just thinking about the flip before he could even think about throwing it or flipping it. He just doesn't concentrate on fielding the ball. And at Spillane Field, that can be pretty deadly. Not a bad bounce there, just a mistake by Paul, and you don't see that every day in the Cape League. But a good opportunity for the birthday boy.
Swinging on the first pitch. Gonzalez at short will retire Metz. And that will end the inning. The Gatemen, they strand 2, but they still lead this ball game 2-0. You are watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgentcare. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Ethan Paul will lead it off against Fitzstadler for the Firebirds. Top 4 already here at Spillane Field. Jacob Toby with Connor Federico.
Fitzstadler's been really good on the mound tonight, locating well. And when you stand 6'9", everything's going to come down towards the hitter. And he's been making it work against guys like Paul, not even 6 feet.
Paul takes strike 1. Stadler coming off a start versus the YD Red Sox on the 21st. Went 2 innings and gave up an earned run.
And he's gone way past that in terms of innings so far, and this is exactly what we asked of Stadler tonight. Give yourself some good innings of scoreless baseball. Just keep yourself in the game and give the bullpen a chance later, a shortened bullpen outing. Give them a chance to get it done later in the game. Last night, Falmouth, they got 5 innings out of James MacArthur, then brought in 4 bullpen pitchers who each went 1 inning. That's the recipe for success.
1-2. Up the middle, ranging over is Duran. The throw is in time. Jaron Duran sliding to his right, throwing over to first. Ethan Paul is gone.
There's the range from Jaron Duran. It's so wildly impressive. I mean, that one was hit right up the hole. Ethan Paul probably thought he was on with a base hit. He looked like he was running it out the whole way. Duran goes from on the ground to on his feet and makes a good throw in just a matter of seconds.
Romy Gonzalez, he singled in the first inning.
And now this becomes almost frustrating for Orleans. You've had really good ground balls hit into the gaps. You've had hard ground balls hit right at people. Making good contact. Fitzstadler hasn't been dominant. In fact, no strikeouts for Fitz today. But he's been getting it done with the ground ball, and this was the perfect lineup to put in based on the position players you have. The 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the infield. This is what you want out there today.
Gatemen pitching staff, 332 strikeouts coming into tonight's ball game, 3rd most in the league.
Yeah, and Orleans strikes out a whopping 323 times. So not exactly something Stadler has taken advantage of tonight, but that's fine. Outs are outs.
1-2. Up in the air, giving chase is Anchia, as well as Sable. Hits the screen out of play.
There seems to be a different energy and life into Spillane, not just the fans, but the players tonight. Feels like they're about this team effort, and they want to snap this 6-game winning streak against a team who's been the best in the league, and you haven't seen since early June. It was a much different team then for both these squads.
June 23rd to be exact. 1-2. Cassers turn it short for out number 2. In that win, an 11-3 victory over the Firebirds was impressive. You saw Tristan Pompey make his debut with the 2 home runs.
I didn't see it. I wasn't here. I was really, that was unfortunate for me. I wish I was here. My sister graduated high school. I needed to go see that.
Steven Scott is in left field today for the Firebirds. Sable at first, brings it over himself. And the Firebirds go 1-2-3. To the bottom of the 4th we go. Gatemen trying to add on to their 2-0 lead.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you. or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to hibu.com. That's HIBU.com. Or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Hibu, made for business.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Bottom of the fourth at Spillane Field. Shadows completely taking over the infield. And it's the Gatemen's turn to try and generate some more offense. They've already gotten 2 runs thanks to Jake Anchia.
John Topa scored one of those runs. He scored the second one, scoring all the way from first on that gapper by Anchia. Got to admire the hustle.
Giddy up.
John Topa always on his horse. Guy doesn't slow down for anything. That's a characteristic about this Gatemen team I really like.
Tries to dig this one out of the dirt.
Gatemen haven't been sent down 1, 2, 3 today through 3 innings of work. Fitzstadler has done that to the Birds twice in both the 3rd and the 4th innings.
Breaking ball swoops in for strike 2.
That's such a good pitch. I don't think John Topa thought that was going to be anywhere near the strike zone, and it just drops in perfectly. Daniels has to be careful with it, though, if he hangs one of those or if one doesn't move.
Hangs it right there. Topa gets a piece of it. Shearer over to first in time for out number 1. The Firebirds, they are coming off a 7-2 win versus the Harbor Hawks, snapping a 2-game losing streak with that win.
Gatemen were rooting for the Birds on that night. It's the Firebirds and the Harbor Hawks, two sorts of birds, I guess.
Yeah, you're right.
If either are non-fictional birds, I'd be surprised. Can't find Firebird in a dictionary. Can find the Gateman, though. Just says it's a synonym for a gatekeeper, according to Merriam-Webster.
And Shea at the plate. So, Commodore is also a bird.
What?
I believe.
I thought a Commodore was like a person who worked on a boat.
Oh, maybe that's it. I always thought. See, I don't know.
Look this up.
So you have the Harbor Hawks, which is a bird, the Firebirds, which is obviously a bird. The Anglers are fish. Or a
fishermen.
Fishermen, I guess, yeah. Whitecaps are waves.
Mm-hmm. They all make sense.
Mariners are fish.
Fishermen.
Fishermen, a mariner.
Yeah, Commodore is a naval rank.
Up the middle, and Chia trying to reach first. The throw is not in time. It got there, but a tad bit late. And Chia reaching by inches.
Yeah, the only reason that was even close is because Anchia slowed down. He thought that one was up the middle into center field for a base knock. Man, that was a lot closer than it should have been. The second baseman, Paul, falling backwards towards left field, just throws a nice little loop over to his first baseman, trying to make the play close. It was very close. That would have possibly gotten you onto SportsCenter Top 10.
Blake Sable Sends this one to the right, but way foul.
After hitting a home run last night, it looks like he wants to again. Maybe he hears me up here. Maybe he says, I'm going to hit a home run through this wind. But I'd say that's not the proper approach. I really think you just got to try to smack it, pull the ball. That's Sable's thing if he gets a ball on the inner half.
Was fooled by the breaking ball there. No balls and 2 strikes with Anchia at first.
Yeah, and what that pitch does, and the last one too, it sets up Daniels to go back to his fastball. Maybe he throws it high. Maybe he throws it on the inner part of the plate. Just tries to blow it by the USC first baseman. He's really early on all these swings, even on the fastball. I think he's really jittery to jump onto one of these. See if Anchia runs with 2 strikes. You just run the risk of a strike him out, throw him out to end the inning.
Daniels 0-2 in the dirt, blocked nicely by Hale. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count to Sable. I talked about the win over Hyannis yesterday for the Firebirds. They took the season series 3-1. And they averaged over 8 runs per game in that series. 1-2, check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did.
Well, by running down to first, Sable basically incriminated himself, saying, yeah, I did go, but he has a teammate over there on first, and with less than 2 outs, there's no drop third strike in that instance, so Sable is retired. He's not a bad 9 hitter to have. This is 1 through 9, one of the Gatemen's most stacked lineups that you can put out there from a nightly basis.
Back to the top, and Quan takes inside. 4 strikeouts so far for Daniels, but his team is losing 2-0. Stadler, no strikeouts, and obviously his team winning.
It's been the ground balls. It's been his defense.
Quan through the left side. Finding his way in his 3rd at-bat in 3 2/3 innings.
Yeah, this Gatemen lineup really just rolling right now. You have 5 hits, a hit by pitch, a walk, you reached on an error. So this Gatemen lineup, all parts of it, not just any top half or middle half or bottom half. They're all doing what they need to do.
Kelly Nicholson out to the mound, and it looks like they will make a pitching change. So Brett Daniel, his night is done. He lets up 2 earned runs to the Gatemen, and we're going to take a short break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org. Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians, expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Brett Daniels leaves after 3 2/3 innings of work, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 5 hits. Taylor Sugg out of North Carolina is your new pitcher.
Yeah, 2 consecutive diamond heels, as they're called down at UNC, the baseball program. Kelly Nicholson clearly trusting those guys, but had seen enough of Brett Daniels, wanted to get in a new face against Dodson. You know, if you're going to make a change, maybe bring in a lefty against Dodson, because he hits better on the left than he does on the right. But this is a matchup that favors the Cal product right now.
10th appearance for Sugg. 1-1 with a 5.82 ERA. 16 strikeouts, 9 walks. Dodson is 0 for 1. He struck out looking back in the 3rd. Was also hit by a pitch in the 1st.
Good block there by Hale. You save putting 2 runners into scoring position. I know there's 2 outs, but Anchia, he's got a good lead over there at second base. He will in about a second, and Dodson can knock him in with a single.
Three balls and no strikes to Dodson.
We'll just leave the bat on the shoulder right here. Make Taylor Sugg prove to you that he can throw a strike, because he hasn't yet.
Do you have the green light?
Not at all. You're keeping the bat on your shoulder here.
He does just that and takes strike 1.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. That one could have been outside the strike zone too. It was pretty close on the outer half. Dodson will gladly take a 3-1 count pitch here.
3-1 to Dodson with 2 runners on and 2 outs. On the infield, Shearer over to first in time, and that will end the inning. The Gatemen, they strand 2 runners on. They still have a 2-0 lead. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Mr. Brian Clue and Smartco Services LLC, located in Taunton, Massachusetts, for being the official sponsors of the Gatemen Player Development Program. The Player Development Program aims to improve both the players' and interns' skills and prepares them for a career in professional baseball. Again, a sincere thank you to Mr. Brian Clue and Smartco Services.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
Everyone's happy so far at Spillane Field. The 2-0 lead for the Wareham Gatemen. Taylor Swift playing in the background. Jacob Toby with Connor Federico. Shake it off.
Yeah, Fitz Stadler, he's been shaking it on this Orleans Firebirds line. That was awful. I apologize. I'm done for the inning. Mute my mic.
Nico Decolati, Brandon Shearer, Lars Nupar to face Stadler for his 5th inning of work. And Decolati, coming off a 2-for-2 night last night, had a home run, a solo shot, and an RBI double against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 3 runs scored and a walk. He takes ball 1. Talking about his home run, Decolati saying, "I was waiting for it to come. The guys have been giving me trouble about it, but I finally got one."
Good for him.
Had 4 home runs at Loyola Marymount this past season. This one slicing down the right field line, foul.
He's got really quick hands. Watching him warm up during BP during the All-Star game. That scouts really like that about him. The way to combat that, if you're Stadler, is to change speeds, change locations. You're not going to sneak anything by Decolati. You're probably not going to strike him out, but you can get yourself a ground ball.
1-1. Check swing. Did he go? Jeff January says no.
Good pitch right there. Still sort of froze up Decolati. I think he wanted to swing at that one. Decided not to. It was just outside the strike zone. We haven't seen Stadler work out of the stretch for a very long time in this game. Put nobody on in the 3rd, put nobody on in the 4th. He hasn't worked out of the stretch since pitching to Nico Decolati last in the 2nd inning.
And I mentioned Jeff January over there first. 3rd time in 5 days we've seen Jeff around these parts, or with the team at least on the road games.
Well, Gatemen have not done well in that stretch. Not going to blame it on Jeff January. Seems like a nice guy.
3-2 is taken for strike 3. First strikeout for Fitz Stadler tonight. 1 out.
Just great piece of pitching right there by Fitz Stadler. Falls behind, 3-1 in the count. He gets a swinging strike outside the zone to make it 3-2. And that time he goes with a bit of a slider again. Puts it right over the center of the plate. Decolati totally fooled. Great pitch on 3-2.
That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Shearer, who grounded into a 4-6-3 double play back in the 2nd, takes strike 1.
I mean, that last pitch was just a perfect example of needing to throw your secondary and
this is a shot right past McIver at 3rd. He tried to reach out and grab it. And Shearer on 1st.
Yeah, first hit in a while for Stadler. I mean, what I was saying is that you need to be able to throw your secondary pitches for strikes and counts like that. And Stadler did it perfectly on that occasion. But a good piece of hitting there by Shearer, who grounded into a double play his last time up. So getting a bit of revenge there. Good solid piece of hitting.
Newbar with a runner on 1st and 1 out. Whoa, this one almost skips past Anchia, but he got a glove on it.
Wonder if Stadler thought they were pitching out and Anchia wasn't ready for it. No explanation to why Stadler missed that badly, especially when he's been so great. And it's cool tonight. Not a nice night to pitch, but Stadler's been doing it effectively.
Check over on Shearer. Gatemen Baseball Network would like to remind you that you can contact us anytime by emailing pressbox@gatemen.org. Please feel free to send us your questions or comments, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. Also, make sure you're following Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Runner goes, a swing and miss. Anchia down to 2nd. It will not be in time. And Shearer at 2nd safely.
Yeah, Anchia really had no chance once that ball hit the dirt. Shearer was off the whole way. And a stolen base now. Orleans threatening to cut this Gateman lead in half. Stadler has the tools to get himself out of this jam. Hasn't faced much adversity tonight. His defense has been helping him. He's been great. Really solid.
Newbar sucking in the gut. Takes it inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Orleans first in the league in batting average coming into this evening, 271.
Such a high clip.
Also first in on-base percentage, OPS, second in slugging percentage, second most walks.
That'll get you first place in the league for sure. They've been doing it with their offense, have gotten some good pitching. The Gatemen haven't allowed many runs to score. They're best in the West, and in the league only trailing Orleans.
Newt-Barr sends this one foul off of the school near where the locker room is for the Wareham Gatemen.
Another ball ends up on the field somehow. I think a fan just tossed that over there on accident.
Runner on second. 2-2. Newt-Barr has worked a full count.
Good eye by Newt-Barr there. Stadler trying to fool Newt-Barr down in the zone. And the second 3-2 pitch of this inning coming up for Stadler. He got called strike 3 the first time against Decolati. I wouldn't be surprised to see that slider backdoor.
3-2. On the ground to Kasser. Takes it on 2 hops to first. In time for out number 2, Shearer, the runner, will advance to third.
That really good pitch on 3-2, and Stadler now 2-0 in those battles against the Firebirds this inning. That's exactly what he needed, a ground out. You move the runner over to third, but with 2 outs, it doesn't really matter. The only person you should be worried about is Brendan Riley, who hit a hard ground ball to Jaron Duran his last time up.
Nice frame by Anchia for strike 1.
This is the best command we've seen from Stadler all season by far. And you know that he was hit by the injury bug his first 2 years at Arizona State. And this has been a really great comeback summer for him.
Anchia thought he might have had the same spot right there.
It was the exact same spot. The outside corner, so hard to see for umpires. I give them credit where credit is due, but you have to be consistent at least. The frame job is so important on the outside corner. Sometimes the umpires can really barely see the ball and that part of the plate at the exact same time, so you rely on context clues like sound and the catcher's glove.
Three balls and 1 strike to Riley, who was 0 for 1.
I'm sure Stadler doesn't want to give up a walk, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's better than throwing an easy going pitch down the center of the plate on 3-1. Stadler's got to locate around the corners here.
And he loses him. Riley will head down to first.
That's a perfectly fine pitch on 3-1. You either get a swinging strike for strike 2 and you get a full count again, or you just send down a runner to first base when you have 2 outs anyway. You have the 9 batter up now, Hale. Not a huge threat. He's the guy you sort of want to face in this situation. Only hitting 167.
Hale now 7 for 16 on the season, and Shearer lost the ball. Shearer coming home to score. And the Firebirds get 1 run back, 2-1.
Yeah, Jake Anchia a little upset with himself right there. Just, he got the glove on it, and then it went through. I think just too much heat on that fastball there. I don't know what it was. Now they're going to call time, and have a discussion. It moves the runner to second. So the tying run is in scoring position all of a sudden for Orleans. That really goes against the run of play in this inning and in general in this game. A contest that the Gatemen have really done well in. Stadler has to gear up and get this out against Hale.
So Orleans gets a run back with 2 outs. Austin Hale at the plate. 1 ball and no strikes with now Riley at second base. Connects with 1 down the third baseline, past the dive of McIver. It's enough for Riley to score from second base. Here come the Birds, all tied up at 2.
Well, that passed ball suddenly means so much now. Really tough break for the Gatemen, leading this game 2-0, and now it's 2-2. Suddenly, the win percentages go around a 50-50, and the one thing you don't want to give the Birds is momentum. They've been so good when they get it late in games this summer. They'll only continue to hurt you. You have to get Jimmy Herron right here.
Herron swings on the first pitch. It's past the dive of Duran up the middle. And the Firebirds, right now the offense is looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's come alive against Stadler here in the 5th. You know, even on Stadler's 2 outs this inning, they were with 3-ball counts, so he's struggled quite a bit. Wouldn't be surprised if Coach Jim Lawler makes the call here if Frank German is indeed ready out there in the bullpen. He pitched pretty well against Gatuit, did German, his last outing. I would certainly trust him in this situation. He looks like he's scheduled to pitch next. It's just a matter of when, and Coach Lawler likes to buy some time.
And he will do so. No pitching change. As of right now, he will leave the Arizona State product in the ball game.
I think you have to. I think Fitz Stadler wants to finish what he started. This will probably be his last inning of work. Why don't you just get out of it? And tough break. And, you know, now you turn it over to your Gatemen offense after you get this final out of the inning. Say, hey, please help me out.
Ethan Paul, 0 for 2. So far, he takes strike 1. Nice defensive play from Duran to rob him of a hit probably.
Yeah, and Duran almost robbed Herron of a hit up the middle. Just it was too far away from him, too well hit.
A 1, chopped in the infield. Sable over to Stadler. And that will do it, but not before the Firebirds fire back with 2 runs. And we are all tied up at 2. You're watching Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community. The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services LLC located in Taunton, Massachusetts for being the official sponsors of the Gatemen Player Development Program. The Player Development Program aims to improve both the players' and interns' skills and prepares them for a career in professional baseball. Again, a sincere thank you to Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Orleans trying to make some history here in the final weeks of the CCBL season. This team needs to go undefeated the rest of the regular season in order to tie the most wins in team history, which is 31. That was done by the 2015 team.
Wow. That's astronomical.
They have 26 wins right now. They need to get to 31.
It's certainly possible. Not if they lose one of these games to the Gatemen. Gatemen would be trying to spoil a bit of history.
And the Gatemen right now coming to the plate. Kyle Kasser showing bunt, but taking it back for ball one.
Troubling news for Wareham around the league. In the top of the 7th, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have a 5-0 lead over the Bourne Braves. So you'd be closer to first if you're the Gatemen.
Out to left, falling right into the glove of Scott.
So Hyannis with the big lead in the top of the 7th at home. That's concerning for sure. If you lose this game tonight, you're only 2 points from last place. You give Hyannis a real shot of coming back. Harwich leads Chatham in the bottom of the 1st, a battle of Eastern Division teams. And YD defeated Brewster today 4-2. That one's final with the sun heading down. And Falmouth defeated by Katuitt 2-1. That is final as well.
McIver takes ball one.
Katuitt and Falmouth bringing themselves closer, 2nd and 3rd place teams in the West.
I feel like it gets closer every single day.
Well, the troubling thing for Wareham is it was getting closer 1 through 4. Now it's getting closer 1 through 5.
Which no one really saw coming, to be quite honest.
No. Hyannis.
It came out of nowhere, it seems.
I think it's been more on the Gatemen losing than it has been on Hyannis winning. They haven't done a bunch of winning. The Gatemen have just lost 6 straight.
No, Hyannis is 2-7-1 in their last 10. And right up the standings they shoot right now.
They just keep on sort of rolling towards 4th place.
They have a negative.
It's a lazy roll.
A negative 77 run differential.
I don't think it's going to happen, but if the Gatemen do fall into 5th, it'd be a collapse of astronomical proportions. You were closer to 1st place a week and a half ago than you were to 5th.
3-2. Chopped in the box. And Harwich, negative 54 run differential. Worst record than the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, but the Harbor Hawks have the worst run differential.
Well, what does that tell you? I mean, the Gatemen have the best run differential in the West. They're in 4th place. It tells you that the Gatemen in wins win by bigger margins, and when the Harbor Hawks lose, they lose bigly.
3-2, popped up into foul territory. Running over is the right fielder Riley against the fence, and he makes the catch for out number 2.
Good play by the right fielder Riley right there. These walls are new to him. He doesn't know how far he had, but he just kept running until he got to the baseball, and that approach worked for him. Now 2 outs. The Gatemen go 1-2-3 here. All the momentum spins back in Orleans' court. You can't have that. Not against these birds.
Jaron Duran showing bunt. And he did go around, says Pat Sparky Burns over there at 3rd.
I think Sparky was looking at the ground on that one.
Sparky, a well-known figure around these parts, both when he does games behind the plate and in the field. And quickly, Duran down, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, count should be 2-0, but beautiful sky tonight here at Spillane.
You're almost guaranteed that when there's no clouds or no rain.
I like the clouds a little more because they can get some
not
nice tints.
overcasting
Right,
color.
But the fluffies like there are right now, I believe those are nimbus clouds. I don't know. We'd have to ask Sam Corman. Too bad he's not your color man tonight. he would know. But it's the kind that can pick up that pinkish to orangish tint, mix it with a light blue sky, and it's quite pleasant.
A lot of twos on the scoreboard. 2-2 ball game, 2 outs, 1-2 pitch. And add one more 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
In the 5th inning, though, nothing will top the scoreboard out there. I think it was a 1-1 ball game in the 11th inning with a 1-1 count and 1 out. Bananas. That's the game of baseball, and that's sort of the brand of baseball that the Gatemen have been playing. Is
that the walk-off game?
I think they lost that one 3-1 to YD. The walk-off was in the 10th.
2-2. Yeah, you're right. My memory fails to serve me correctly. Another arm warming in the Orleans bullpen.
Empty for the Gatemen. I see Frank German wearing a jacket. He's probably warm and just trying to keep warm at this point on a night like tonight.
Taylor Sugg on the hill. Here comes his 2-2. Cut on him, miss, strike 3. The Gatemen, they do go 1-2-3 here in the 5th. We're on to the 6th. A whole new ball game tied up at 2.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
57 pitches for Fitz Stadler. He's still on the mound, and we're headed to the 6th. Jacob Toby, Connor Federico, Claudia Chikamian on hand for this one. 3-4-5 for the Firebirds. Romy Gonzalez swinging at the first pitch, 0-1.
Yeah, if you're Orleans at this point, I'd think you'd want to be a little more conservative at the plate and make Stadler throw some more pitches than he has, try to knock him out of this game. But the Firebirds, they're free swingers.
Gonzalez is 1 for 2. He singled in the first. Grounded out to Kasser in the 4th inning. This one is shot into the dugout of Orleans.
It was caught. Really nice catch in there. They're baseball players. They're always on their heels. Great instincts.
See, I feel like if I was down there, I'd get drilled because I would not be on my toes. Stadler's 1-2. Kelly Nicholson manning this Firebirds team in his 11th season as the manager, 15th overall with the organization. 2-2. And Nicholson is the longest tenured Firebirds manager in team history.
Wow.
With 11 years.
Well, you know how much I love the Big East, Jacob. Dave Gavitt, former manager of the Orleans Firebirds. He was the founder of the basketball conference, the Big East. Died a couple of years ago.
3-2 is swung on and missed. The fastball blown right by Gonzalez for out number 1.
Good pitch right there. Stadler bounces back with a nice strikeout after giving up 2 runs in that last inning.
That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Steven Scott 0 for 2 as well. Again, leading this Cape League in RBIs with 30, 10th in the league in batting average, 318, and tied 7th in runs with 23. What a player this guy is.
Yeah, they love him back at Vanderbilt. He's done some great things this spring, especially this summer. Firebirds crowd over in Orleans, they love him, as we'll see tomorrow on the back half of this home and home. Exciting. A great challenge for the Gatemen.
Put you on the spot here, Connor. If you look at some of the stats for the Gatemen, just on paper, would you think that they've had a better record?
Yes, due to the run differential. The run differential is the first thing that pops into my mind. It's plus 21 coming into tonight, or plus 20. That means you... that means, plainly, simply, you score more runs than you give up. And usually, you know, you're not going to be less than 500 when you have a run differential such as that. But 16, 21, and 1, that's not where the Gatemen should be sitting right now. I think they're a 500 ball club. I think they're above 500 on paper if you look at the names on this roster.
2-2. Out to center field. Kwan was backtracking at first. He dove him, but he couldn't come up with the baseball. To second base goes Scott. And he's got himself a 1-out double.
Tough break for Stephen Kwan. You rarely see the Oregon State Beaver misjudge a baseball like that. And I think that's a product of the wind. Coming off the bat, it looks pretty normal. But nope, it dives right into center field. A lot of topspin.
Jim Lawler coming out, and he will make a pitching change. Fitz Stadler's night is done, and it's a 2-2 ball game. We'll take a short break.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke. Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services LLC located in Taunton, Massachusetts for being the official sponsors of the Gatemen Player Development Program. The Player Development Program aims to improve both the players' and interns' skills and prepares them for a career in professional baseball. Again, a sincere thank you to Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Back at Spillane, the pitching change has been made. Fitz Stadler's night is done. Franklin German comes on. His last appearance, the 25th of July, 2 innings, no earned, a hit, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. First pitch swinging is Nico Decolati, who struck out looking back in the 5th.
Tough test for German here. If he can win this battle and throw a couple of good innings for the Gatemen, it'll be really impressive for him, great for his confidence moving forward. Maybe the offense could come together and get him a win.
Steven Scott is on second base. He doubled after a diving attempt made from Stephen Kwan in center field.
Yeah, just the wind pushed that right in front of Kwan where he originally thought it was going to be maybe over his head.
One from German is chipped foul. Nice catch by one of the Orleans Firebirds. That was Austin Hale.
It was. The catcher was out there. He's due up in a couple batters. Wearing the protective equipment, not afraid to stand where he's standing.
One-two coming up from German.
Close to called strike 3. German painting around the strike zone right now. You have to be careful against a guy like Decolati. Shearer on deck is more of a candidate of someone you want to pitch to. With 1 out, you got to go after them both.
2-2 pitch. Rocketed. Right past the dive of Kasser at third. And now heading to second base. And getting in there safely is Decolati. Really didn't know if he would go or not. He was halfway down, and he made his decision. No advancement from Scott to go home, but he's now at third. Runners at second and third, the scoring position for the Firebirds.
Interesting decision to throw home there. It's going to be ruled an error. It's still a hit, but no, there's no error. It's just it's a hit. And it's a good piece of hitting.
Brandon Shearer singled and scored and turns away. Did it hit him? It did. On the first pitch, coming up and in. Tried to turn away, but it plunks him. And now the bases are loaded.
First baseman, number 27.
Well, the combination of Stadler and German have gotten the North Florida pitcher into a tricky situation here. 1 out. Looks like the middle of the infield will stay back. And the corners are in, trying to prevent a double play. Or the corners are in, trying to cut down the run at home. Middle infield will try to turn a double play against Newt Bar.
Blocked by Anchia behind the plate.
Yeah, making the right pitches in the right situation, so critical. Jake Anchia behind the dish, he's incredibly important right now. If you'd recall, one of the runs in this inning scored on a passed ball.
1-0. Thought about going around, but it was a called strike on Newt Bar. Newt Bar 0 for 2 is grounded out to Kasser at shortstop twice tonight.
The Gatemen staff as a whole yesterday forced Falmouth to leave the bases loaded twice. without getting any runs across. They'd like to repeat that same success right now with German.
New bar calls time. Orleans is 13-7 on the road this season. One. Frame for strike two.
That's something the Gatemen haven't done as well. Go to road ballparks, make a nice little drive for the day, and go in an unfamiliar situation and get a win. Orleans has been so good at that. They're not afraid of displaying crowd or any opposing crowd they face.
New bar fouls this one off. Gatemen and on the road, 7-12-1.
They were really close to 500. Then this losing streak has come back and bitten them. Losing streak has really hurt the Gatemen in a lot of ways. Mostly in confidence, mostly in the standings.
1-2. Out to left center field. Will it fall? It does. Scott will score the only run to come across, but it gives the Firebirds a 3-2 lead. Lars Newbar with the RBI single.
Yeah, that run eventually charged to fit Stadler. That was the last runner that he left on, is the one that scores. Now a 3-2 ball game. German pretty upset he couldn't come in and shut the door. In fact, he's given up a single, a hit by pitch, and another single. He's got to step up. This Gatemen bullpen, Riley Gates warming up.
Riley Gates in the pen, Brandon Riley at the plate.
The impact of losing some of your key starters has hurt the Gatemen tremendously.
Base is still loaded. Orleans is the only team, rather the fourth team to not tie this season. 3 others have not tied. Falmouth born Katuit has tied. Orleans YD has not tied.
Hate the little one next to the Gatemen record. It should be a 1 in the win column.
1-2 right off the mask of Anchia. And Richard Cacciatore, the home plate umpire, making sure he's okay.
German on multiple occasions since coming into this ball game has been so close to getting an out. Instead, Orleans has done a good job fighting with 2 strikes. German needs to get this out.
1-2 to Riley is low.
For the first time this season, I'm going to say German needs to get this out. This is not a want. This is not a normal situation. There's so much riding on this moment. It's the bottom of the 6th against the best team in the league. You're on a 6-game winning streak. Bases loaded.
2-2 to left. That will fall. Decolati scores. Back-to-back RBI singles. First from Newbar, now from Riley. A 4-2 lead for the Birds.
Well, I don't know what else to say, despite being incredibly disappointed. 2 innings ago, the Gatemen had a 2-0 lead against the best team on the entire Cape. And now at home, you give away the lead. You let Orleans have that 2-run lead that you were enjoying. This lineup, if you don't get any outs, it's just going to continue to destroy you. And Austin Hale, he had an RBI single in the last inning to tie up the game. Now he could make the margin so much more.
That RBI single from Hale back in the 5th. part of a 1-for-2 day. He flew out in the third. Bases still loaded. And still one out. Shearer is the runner at third. He was hit by a pitch. Newbar, the RBI single, is at second. Riley, the RBI single, he's at first.
Hyannis was up 2-0 yesterday against Orleans also. Ended up losing 7-2 after everything that happened. Orleans just constantly scoring throughout the second and fifth innings. Now they're doing their damage in the fifth and sixth against the Gatemen.
Yeah, Hyannis scored 2 in the first and never scored again.
You can keep that foul ball, courtesy of attorney Glenn Hannington and his daughter Tevis.
So bases are loaded here in the sixth. This game was tied coming into the sixth, and now the Firebirds have taken the lead, 4-2. This one into the dugout. Believe everyone's okay.
Can't understate the importance of this moment. The Gatemen haven't risen to the occasion. If the Gatemen lose tonight, it's a 7-game losing streak. That's astronomical. That's a third of your losses on the season coming in the past week.
2-2. Swung on and missed. Much needed strikeout for Franklin German. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard.
Only outs this inning have been strikeouts. That was not the key to success coming into this game. It was getting ground outs. German, he likes to do it himself, but instead he's been getting shelled.
And he has to face Jimmy Herron with the bases loaded. Herron is 1 for 3. He's popped out twice and singled.
One of 2 batters to not hit in this sixth inning so far. One of your MVP candidates. The Gatemen have allowed him a situation with the bases loaded, 2 outs against a struggling pitcher. He's licking his chops at the plate right now. This is exactly what he wants.
Makes contact and sends it foul. He's third in the league in hits with 49, fifth in runs, 25, fourth in stolen bases, 13. He's played the third most games anyone can play this season, 37.
Don't waste a pitch here on 1-2. Go right after him. The more Herron sees German, the more he'll understand him.
1-2, through the 6 hole. Shearer scores. They're waving around Newtbar. The throw is not in time. So 2 runs will score. 6-2 Orleans.
Second baseman, number 9, Ethan.
That's why the Birds are the best team in the league. Plain and simple. They just hit. They hit with 2 outs. They hit in all sorts of situations. Here comes Jim Lawler.
We'll see what Jim Lawler will do. He will make the pitching change. Getting word Riley Gates will come in. And Frank German, his night is done, 6-2.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like the balsamic grilled chicken or New England fried shrimp. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent care.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit Star's Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org.
The Gatemen call on Riley Gates to try to get them out of this 6th inning, a disastrous 4-run inning led up by Fitzstadler, Frank German, and now it's Gates' turn to try to get them out. Ethan Paul, 9th hitter to bat in this 6th inning, and he takes strike 1. Gates last time out versus Hyannis on the 25th. 1 inning, no earned, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. This one is sent to left. Going back is Topa. He makes the catch and finally ends the inning. 4 runs score. It is now a 6-2 ball game.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Disastrous 6th inning for the Wareham Gatemen. They trail it now 6-2. Out goes Connor Federico. In comes Matthew Feld. How we doing?
How are you? And out goes Taylor Sugg, and in comes Jake Wong.
New pitcher for the Firebirds, Jake Wong out of Grand Canyon. 15th appearance on the season. 2.95 ERA, 19 Ks, 3 walks. What went wrong last inning?
Well, a lot of things went wrong, but we can start with the fact that if I count correctly, the Firebirds had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 two-strike hits. A lot of them were not overly hit hard, but it all starts with a one-out double by Steven Scott, the home run hitting contest champion, and it just unravels from there. 3 of 4 batters against German reached with 2 strikes on them.
Robbie Metz will face Wong to start it off. Takes one up and in. The birthday boy.
Oh, yeah.
He is 1 for 2 on the day so far. He singled and scored in the second. A 2-run second inning for the Gatemen. That's all they've got tonight.
Yeah, the Gatemen have had opportunities. Once again, I feel like we're saying that on a consistent basis, that they have opportunities to tack on. They did in the 3rd and 4th and just were not able to do it. And when you do that and you keep teams like Orleans, which comes in here with an impressive 26-13 record, well, they're gonna make you pay. And sure enough, it was only a matter of time before they did.
Metz sends this one foul. But you had him in a good situation, 2-0.
Yes. And just like that, within a blink of an eye, you look up and it's 2-2, and you just don't know what happened.
No idea. Breaking ball away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It is Metz, Topa, and Jake Anchia in this inning.
If I'm not mistaken, that Hyannis game has gone final. Weasel, can you check that for us? It has not gone final.
3-2 pitch. Fouled away.
Bourne has the bases loaded in the top of the 9th, down 5-0 with 2 outs.
Are they at Dorn Park?
They are at McKeon Park.
Ah.
Good Wi-Fi there.
I was going to say, we know what happens at Dorn Park with the bases loaded. This one sends it to center. And Decolati has it sized up for out number 1. John Topa coming up. He is also 1 for 2 on the day. Singled and scored in the second. Grounded out to the 3rd baseman Shearer in the 4th.
2-2 count in that Hyannis board game. It's been 2-2 for the last 26 minutes.
Point streak. What's going on?
Website sucks.
Jake Wong coming in relief of Taylor Sugg. Topa hits this one hard. Gonzalez, a long throw. Nice pick from Lars Newbar to retire Topa. Stretching out for the second out.
Great stretch right there, as you said, by Newbar. And Topa is retired for the second out of the inning. And the Gatemen, all of a sudden, after having a pretty good day offensively through the first 4 innings, have now seen 6 straight batters retired.
And Chia coming up to the plate. I said this on the post-game show after the loss to the Falmouth Commodores. It seemed that there was no emotion in this team the past week and a half after that 5-game win streak. The X factor was not there. You saw some emotion here early on in the 2-0 lead. That's all lost right now.
Yeah, Firebirds slowly took it away with those, as I mentioned, each of those 2-strike singles, one after another. It seemed that wild pitch was a big turning point.
And our producer, Matt Wieselthaler, coming on the broadcast.
That Bourne game finally went final. Strikeout swing for Andy Atwood, the SportsCenter top 10 man, with the bases loaded. So the Hyannis Harborhawks win 5-0. How about this? Bourne, 4 errors today, only 2 earned runs for the Hyannis Harborhawks.
Well, Bourne had no runs, so it wouldn't have made a difference.
1-2. Shearer, another long throw, in time. And just like that, the Gatemen go 1-2-3. We're headed to the 7th, a 6-2 game.
The Cape Cod Baseball League is all about family, and it's all about fun. Friendly's is all about family and fun, and is proud to sponsor the 2017 baseball season. Friendly's, life with extra sprinkles.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu.
Riley Gates came into the ball game with 2 outs in the 6th. He retired Ethan Paul. And now he's going to face Romy Gonzalez, Steven Scott, Nico Decolati, the heart of this Orleans order.
Yeah, big inning for Riley Gates. It's been a bit of a tough summer so far, and the Gatemen down the stretch are going to need all the arms they can get, as we've seen tonight. And so a chance for Riley Gates to throw a couple of quality innings tonight.
In 4 out of his 8 outings, he's given up at least 1 earned run. Gonzalez fouls it back.
That's not good. But Riley's working through a couple of things, and talking to pitching coach Jim Lawler, it's really just been about establishing his fastball, because otherwise he's been unable to locate his secondary stuff, and half those outings, he hasn't given up a run.
Are you a glass half full guy or glass half empty guy?
Well, one of the things that I actually really like about Riley Gates is when I talked to him last Friday, he struggled a little bit against YD. He goes, I'm just going through a couple of things and working through it, and it's all good. And he said it with a big smile on his face, and he was able to go back to work a couple of days later with pitching coach Jim Lawler. And you need those type of guys up here on the Cape, because
this one bounces off of the fence. It was strike 3, but Gonzalez will now find himself on first.
Via the wild pitch, and it's kind of been the summer that Riley Gates has had at points. Just some tough luck right there. Makes a great change up on out 1 and 2, and it just skips away from Jake Yanchi, and Gonzalez reaches. But just back to that, I mean, it's a humbling league. Head coach Johnston has talked about that all summer long. Kids who are so used to success back at school come in here and sometimes have a tough go of it, and they have to learn to adapt, and that's something that a lot of these Gatemen players have had to go through, and a lot of these players go through throughout here on the Cape.
Steven Scott will bat right now with a runner on first base. Gonzalez, he struck out. Reaches on the wild pitch. Another one bounces to the plate. And while we're talking about the bullpen, you have some news for us regarding Brett Canine.
Oh, you haven't shared the news yet?
I have not. I was waiting for some bullpen talk.
That's fine. Of course, Brett Canine's had to be used in a limited role, as we'll get a pinch runner here for the Firebirds. It'll be number 7, Jeff Hotby out of San Diego. And for a second I thought I was going to read that he had 13 steals on the season, but he does not. It's Jimmy Herron, one of the candidates definitely for league MVP up here. But Brett Canine, thankfully for the Gatemen, no longer with an innings limit. And that's big time for the Gatemen. He's been one of the most rock-solid relievers, not only for the Gatemen, but all in the Cape League. We saw that last night over his 2 innings of work. But head coach Don Senna pointed out before the game, in order for him to be effective, we need a lead. And we have not led in the late innings in almost a week.
Scott takes strike 1.
And when I say in almost a week, I mean 8 days.
Before the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, that Friday against YD, when they were riding that 5-game winning streak, they were 9 outs away from a 6-game winning streak and just let a lead slip away in the 7th inning against Yarmouth Dennis. And that seemed to take a bit of the wind out of the sails of the Gatemen, because then they lost another tough game against YD on Sunday. They had a chance to beat Hyannis that Tuesday, and it kind of just got away from them late, a little sloppy play late in the game. Since then, it's just been really difficult when you can think about the fact that they lost to Brewster 8-7. They lost yesterday 2-1. These have been very close, competitive games that have just not been able to go the Gatemen way, one way or the other, and that can just be very deflating for a ball club.
Gates 1-2 to Scott. is low. I asked this to Connor. I'll ask it to you. Looking at the stats of the Wareham Gatemen just on paper, you would think that they would have a better record purely by their stats.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess just based on their stats, sure, you do have to take into account that they might have lost their 4 best pitchers that they had this summer. Between Joey Matulovic, Griffin Roberts, Justin Glover, and Miller Hogan, they have lost literally their best 4 pitchers. Justin Montgomery's had a great summer, of course, not as effective the last couple times out, but hasn't had a great summer. But they lost, arguably, 4 of their best pitchers. Frankie Bartow, way back when.
This one in the dirt. Nice block from Anchia, and I feel like we don't really remember what Glover did, but he was rock solid those first couple weeks.
Yeah, he only got up 1 earned run when he was out here, and that run came when his knee slid into and out of place, which is why he had to go home. Luckily, no surgery for Glover, but rightfully so went home for the rest of the summer as just a freshman. They're not going to take any chances with, as Jim Lawler quoted, the franchise down in Georgia. So rightfully went home to get some rest, but Glover was rock solid. His first time out here only let up 1 base runner in 5 innings against the Commodores of Falmouth. So, that was a really tough loss from the left-hand side also, and Mason Fioli has kind of adapted that ace role. But the Gatemen certainly are all of a sudden had a surplus of arms, and now we're trying to figure it out on the mound a little bit.
3-2's low. And Scott will head down to first with a walk. So Hotby on second, and Scott on first. Nico Decolati coming up. He is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a run.
These last 3 innings kind of sum up this streak. In the 5th inning, they get Orleans gets a run on a wild pitch. In the 6th inning, it starts with a jam double to center just beyond the reach of Stephen Kwan that goes into and out of his glove. And then here, this inning starts with a dropped 3rd strike. I mean, those 3 innings right there, those 3 plays kind of sum up how this last week has gone for the Wareham Gatemen.
Breaking pitch for strike 1. Swung on a miss from Decolati. And if the Gatemen lose tonight, it would be 7 in a row. Back in 2013, they ended the season on a 7-game losing streak. That was the last time this team lost 7 in a row.
Not a good year for the Gatemen.
9-33-1 was the record.
Bowling.
Up in the air, Kwan calling everyone else off. Will make the catch for out number 1. No, that year coming off a championship, your last one.
The Gatemen lost some of their better players that year to Team USA. Kyle Schwarber, of course, who left for Team USA, then came back. I think he hit about 440 in his limited time here. Just a beast of a player. But all around was a tough year for the Gatemen, and rebounded to have a terrific season last year. I think sometimes people forget just how good they were last year during the regular season. 25-15, and of course 4 ties.
Oh Lord, don't bring us back to those days.
Back-to-back ties one day during one stretch.
Former head coach Jerry Weinstein was not pleased at those ties. The interviews said that themselves.
Yes, not a fan. We had one 11-inning game. We had a 12-inning game.
A lightning game.
We had a lightning game. That game is memorable because of the fact that I went out and got a milkshake during the lightning delay. Nothing else outside of course, a Gatemen win.
Brandon Shearer at the plate. Takes strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Riley Gates has had some good stuff today. Probably the best combination of his four-seam fastball, changeup, and slider that I have seen since he's been out there so far out here on the Cape, and has allowed just really one real base runner via the walk, and that was on a borderline 3-2 fastball.
Fake over to second base. No one covering the bag.
Gates, of course, the runner on second, reaching via drop, 3rd strike, but nothing Gates can do about that.
Shearer connects with this one, sends it to right. Going back is Metz at the wall. He caught the ball. Robbie Metz out there in right field. He leaps and makes the catch for out number 2. Very nice.
Very nice indeed, courtesy of our treasurer, Jeff Tufts, on the sound system today, and that was a great catch by Robbie Metz, going back to the wall, full extension, reaching up, and I thought for a second that ball was going to go out of the ballpark the way that Robbie Metz was running back on it, but leaches up and makes a terrific grab to take away extra bases from Brandon Shearer.
What a catch from the birthday boy.
The birthday boy.
And now Lars Newbar will have a crack at Gates. Newbar, of course, the RBI single back in the 6th. The first of back-to-back RBI singles. Brandon Riley followed him up with an RBI single driving in Decolati. Two runners on and 2 outs. Check over on second. And Sparky Burns over there, the third base umpire, saying that hope he's safe. See some candles over there in the bullpen for the Wareham Gatemen.
Looks like Survivor. But anything to keep the bugs away at night. And also, it's a little chilly here, so I'm sure...
I don't know if those are good enough for heat.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's a poor effort.
They've got the big jackets on tonight. The weather has just not been Cape-like this last week.
It is not. Yesterday was a pretty nice day down in Falmouth. Probably the pick of the week, as they say, or scenic day of the week. Nice breeze, some sunshine. Today, no clouds really in the sky. Partly cloudy, but it's really been the wind that has kept the temperatures down.
This one bounces to the plate once more. And we talked about it earlier on in the broadcast, the wind coming into the park tonight. Usually it's been going out.
Yes, yes. And I heard your color commentator, Connor Federico, who's now MIA, say something along the lines earlier that it might be to the Gatemen advantage. I would disagree with that sentiment.
Because?
Well, the Gatemen already don't hit for a lot of power. And now you're taking probably doubles away, potential doubles away, and turning them into pop-ups. All of a sudden, the Gatemen now go from literally being a very team with limited power to being a no power. And especially with the wind blowing in, and Orleans really hits no matter what environment you put them in. They're hitting 270, which as a team is a terrific number.
2-2, framed up for strike 3. Breaking ball, fooling Newbar. And that will end the inning. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. We are off to the 7th inning stretch, presented by Eastern Propane and Oil. Proud to sponsor the Gatemen with locations on and off the Cape. More Gatemen baseball after the break.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Want to hear more about today's game, players, and breaking sports updates? Then download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store and tune to this station. It's live. It's local FM radio wherever you go. The Next Radio app. Get it today. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
I'm all stretched out. How about you at home? Jacob Toby, Connor Federico back on the broadcast with you. Matt Feld leaving us.
Buenos noches.
And some stuff happening around the CCBL. The Harbor Hawks of Hyannis beat the Bourne Braves 5-0. So that gives the Harbor Hawks 2 more points. They have 31. They are now just 1 game behind you, and you being the Wareham Gatemen.
Scary. Really scary. I mean, hopefully that's a wake-up call for the Gatemen, if anything. You can't get it done on the field tonight. I mean, this game's far from over, but they haven't been getting it done so far. And, you know, you see Hyannis is that close, and you say, oh, man, we need to kick it into high gear now. Or kick it into any gear, actually, would be nice.
Katuitt beating Falmouth 2-1. That gives Katuitt now 39 points. 1 point behind Bourne for second, 2 behind Falmouth for first. And now in this ball game, Cody Deason is the new pitcher.
Deason has to face Sable, Quan, and then Dodson, a good part of this Gatemen order. We haven't seen Blake Sable hit 9 this summer, and I don't think it's a bad spot for him. You know, the 9-hitter sometimes gets to lead off innings like he is right here, and he's a good table setter.
Facing Deason, the Arizona product. This is his 11th appearance. He's got 1 save, 1.37 ERA, 19 2/3 innings, 28 strikeouts, 7 walks. And Sable tonight 0 for 2. Fly out to right in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, he's an aggressive hitter. He'll take his hacks, and down 0-2 in the count, this would be a good time for Deason to strike.
One ball and 2 strikes. It is 9-1-2 coming up. Quan and Dotson to follow Sable.
Maybe.
Sparky Burns says no. Sable does not go around. So the count now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. A 6-2 lead for the Firebirds over the Gatemen. Deason's pitch, just outside.
Really great work by Blake Sable, working himself back into this at-bat. Fell behind 0-2. Now doing all the work he needs to with his eyes. Full count. You know, you have 9 outs to get 4 runs or more.
3-2. And off the glove of Paul at second. That will be ruled a hit.
Well, how could it not be? Just a really hot shot off the bat of Sable. Paul lucky to get any leather on it at all. A really good piece of hitting with the 3-2 count. Sable hadn't swung the bat in quite a while in that at-bat, and he pulls the ball, not trying to hit home runs now, just trying to get on base. That's all the Gatemen need from him. And that swing matters a lot. Now you give yourself a chance in this inning, give yourself a chance in the ball game.
Stephen Quan. First pitch swinging, sends it out of play to the left. Past 3 innings, Orleans has left 2 runners on base. The Gatemen have left just 2.
Well, that's a product of Orleans getting more runners on base. Score more runs in this game.
And you were out on assignment for a couple innings, but the Gatemen last lost 7 in a row back in 2013 to finish their season. Again, they finished that season 9-33-1, last place in the West.
Man, 9 wins. People of Wareham deserve a little better.
And they did. The year before, they got a championship.
Right.
1-2 from Deason. Chip foul.
Well, 25 wins last season, and you were here for it, Jacob. That was among the best in franchise history for the Gatemen. Fun team to be around, I've heard, at the end of the season, where the wins just came in as often as the losses are in this particular summer.
2 very different summers. Yeah, last year was a good team. Lots of characters.
Sable has a huge lead at first.
Two is hit foul off of Quan himself.
Yeah, Deason, the new pitcher, has gotten some good battles from Sable and Quan so far. You admire the way the Gatemen are trying to get themselves back into this game. 7th inning, you don't want to drop 7 straight.
2-2. Inside, framed by Hale. Yeah, last year the Gatemen made the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row, won more games than any other season since 2001. They also tied the most times in the CCBL with 4. Three-two.
I mean, even if you're getting 4 ties, it means you don't lose a lot. 54 points on a season, that just sounds like a resilient team that won't quit. A team that won a lot of games late, won a lot of games by 1 run. Something that the Gatemen have been giving away this summer.
Right to the first baseman, Newbar. To second, the throw is off. But Sable is retired. Quan will reach on the fielder's choice. So there is now 1 out in the inning.
Good stretch over there by Jeff Hopeby. Came into the game at shortstop for Gonzalez. Good job keeping your back foot on that bag even when the throw was so far off, deciding that, all right, we're not going to get 2 here, but I'm going to make sure I make this catch and at least make it 1.
Cape League started back in 1885.
Wow.
This is its 132nd year in existence. So more than a century. More than 1,100 alumni at all levels of professional baseball. Last season, 297 former Cape Leaguers in the majors on opening day. One to Dotson, taken for a strike. Eldridge Park has been around for a century, 104 years old, the oldest ballpark in the league.
Just a year younger than Fenway Park. So much history here. The legacy is just, it's incredible. You know, I'm just taking some time to soak all that into my brain because it's so much to wrap your head around. The best baseball in the country in the summer months has been here for 132 years.
1-2. Chopped foul was jammed on the inside. Dotson staying alive.
Every player that walks through Spillane Field or any of the Cape League stadiums, you know, they're gonna find their way into a career in baseball someday, whether it's in the minors, the majors, coaching, scouting.
Dotson working this at bat right now with Cody Deason.
And the great players coming here, helping out their own futures. They help out the futures of future broadcasters and scouts and umpires and people who just want to be involved with the game. Anything to do with the game. If you're at a park tonight, it's because you love it. And you can't say that about any other place in the country in such a concentrated area. You never get more than an hour drive in this league.
2-2. Dodson will strike out looking for the second time tonight. And that is out number 2 in this inning. So Dodson an 0 for 3 night.
The Arizona pitcher has done well against this Pac-12 part of the lineup that he's facing right now. Sable, Kwan, Dodson, Kasser, McIver, all Pac-12, and then you add Jaron Duran, who's from the West Coast as well.
Kasser takes ball 1.
So many of these guys, they play their baseball on the West Coast during the spring. That's because they're from the West Coast, and you know, it's a big ask to tell a young player, hey, come to the Cape for a summer. The Cape? I've never been further east than the Mississippi River. Some of them might say, I don't know, but I mean, it's a new environment for so many of these people, for these players.
1-1 rifled. This park is silent.
Be surprised if it was anything else. Orleans has been the team of the night here at Spillane.
Time called at the plate, and Deason had to deliver it. Now my question is, do pitching coaches count that as a pitch in your pitch count?
I don't believe so, and I think Deason probably took something off that pitch. Just finish your motion so you don't get hurt. And even the warm-up pitches aren't counted.
So you're really throwing more than you actually are counted for. Chopped in the infield. Gonzalez on the run. Nice play. And the drought for runs continues. Only 2 for the Gatemen, back in the second. And we head to the 8th. Spillane Field needs energy. Who's going to bring it?
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Cody Smith coming in out of Charleston Southern for the Wareham Gatemen here in the 8th. Last pitched on the 25th of July versus the Harbor Hawks here at Spillane. 2/3 of an inning, and struck out one of the batters he faced. Big South All-Conference second team. He also started 16 games in left field for Charleston Southern.
Got a little pop in his bat. Doubt we'll see it this season, though.
No. Well, with the vast array of injuries that have been plaguing this team, perhaps.
I guess you never know, Jacob.
271, no home runs, and 7 RBIs for Smith this past season as Brandon Riley steps in and takes ball one.
Gatemen have 6 outs left to work. It's a 4-run deficit, and who knows, with Orleans, it could become more at just about any moment.
Up the middle and for a base hit.
Bottom of the lineup getting it done tonight. Newtbar, Riley right there, Austin Hale have all accounted for Orleans' runs. The RBIs with runs scored, with hits, with walks, with 2 outs, with less than 2 outs. They've all been getting it done. And that's Orleans for you right there. Just a through and through solid lineup. There's no breaks. Cody Smith has a tough challenge with nobody out.
Cesar Salazar will pinch hit for Austin Hale.
Attention, please. A pinch hitter for the Firebirds. Now batting
Austin Hale, an RBI single in this ball game back in the 5th. Part of a 1-for-3 ball game for him. And Salazar on the season, 205, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs.
Nicholson maybe trying to cycle some guys in. Salazar with plenty of talent. Anybody you bring off this bench is going to be able to hit.
Good time to bring something up that I've wanted to mention for quite some time about Gatemen President Tom Gay and his wife Sherry. They were honored by the MCBA in 2017 with the Fred Abbott Award of Distinction by the Massachusetts Baseball Coaches Association. Each year the organization presents a special award to people who serve the youth of the state by making significant contributions to amateur youth baseball. And Tom and Gary have done more than that. They both started out as Gatemen host parents in 1977, right in 1997. Sherry became the chair of housing for 15 years, the secretary for 17, VP of jobs and team outings for 17 years. Tom Gay, president of Gateway Babe Ruth from 1997 to 2006. Two to Salazar, into right field, and going to third is Riley. Runners at the corners for the Firebirds with no outs. Tom Gay also 8 years as an AAU manager. Went to Cooperstown, St. Louis, Disney World. And was also the founder of the Friends of Marion Youth Incorporation, which raises money to support athletic programs in Marion, Mattapoisett, and Rochester. And Sherry got more involved with the organization, and as time went on, Tom Gay becomes GM and president in 2009 after, of course, the death of John Wild. 2012, Tom Gay was named Executive of the Year. Of course, that was the championship year for the Gatemen. And in 2015, became just president of this organization. Ball hit to Duran. They'll go to second for 1 out. That's all they'll get. And a run will score. Riley comes around. 7-2 in favor of the Firebirds.
You know, one of the bright spots for me this summer, Jacob, has been meeting some of the people here in Wareham around this organization. Not all of them from the Wareham area. Some come from far and wide. And, you know, this summer it's about college kids. Us on the broadcast, the players on the field. Mostly about them, but the adults around here who make it all possible have been nothing but an absolute joy to work with and meet. And they, you know, they make this organization run so smoothly and so amazingly. The All-Star game was a great example of that. And every day you come to the park at Spillane and you just sort of soak it in.
They run a tight ship here in Wareham as Ethan Paul steps in and takes strike 2. They hold the league record for most consecutive postseason experiences at 13. From 1990 to 2002.
13 straight years?
Yeah.
Wow. And this 8-team format has not always been the case.
Guys like Barry Zito, Carlos Pena, Nick Swisher, Justin Masterson, George Springer, Dallas Keuchel, Kyle Schwarber, all alumni that played at Spillane.
It's this team, it's the whole league. The history here, it's amazing. Every one of these players have the shot to go on from here and make themselves into something special at the next level.
Two.
Didn't we hear over the PA before that the winning pitcher from the 2012 championship game was here tonight? I mean, it just proves that these guys, they want to come back and make a difference in Wareham, and they love their time here.
And it's not just with Wareham. All these teams have significant people that come back and help. Of course, just a couple days ago, Steve Cishek, the Falmouth native, a pitcher, bullpen arm for the Mariners, was traded to the Rays in the playoff pennant race in the American League. And he goes back to Falmouth every now and then to do some fundraising. For a 2-cent foul. Smith, in high school back in 2013 at Goose Creek High School, recorded a .489 batting average and a 1.30 ERA.
Wow.
That was his junior season. And as a senior, batted .390 with a 1.89 ERA.
Still incredible.
And if you're watching your son, Robin and Wilson Smith, you should be proud.
All these parents should.
Nice at bat here from Ethan Paul to keep it alive. Paul lined out to shortstop in the first, was robbed of a hit from Jaron Duran in the fourth, grounded out to Sable at first in the fifth, and flew out to John Topa in left field in the sixth. An 0-for-4 day for the 2016 returner. An all-star both years. And is fighting off this at bat with Cody Smith.
All these parents should be very proud. These players should be proud of themselves. Even if after tonight they're 2 games ahead of last place, or 2 points rather, and dangerously close to falling out, they've made such an impact here in Wareham. School readings, doing clinics, helping out, making them seen.
And that one tipped right into the mitt. Strike 3 for Cody Smith. That is the second out of the inning. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. And now Jeff Hotby coming in. After pinch hitting in the 7th, he struck out but reached on a wild pitch. The drop third strike.
Tough break. Almost personifies this 6-game losing streak. Comes so close. You do all the right things, but still can't get it.
Last night you asked me on the broadcast what was different about these two teams, and I said the offense. Cole Freeman winning the batting title last year. Colton Shaver leading the league in home runs and RBIs. Second year in a row, the Gatemen Player has won a batting title. Tanner Dodson, trying to be third in a row. Back-to-back strikeouts for Smith. Ends this inning, bottom 8. Gatemen trying to work on a 5-run deficit.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
Five runs is the deficit. Gatemen still have a chance. It's McIver, Duran, and Metz in this inning. Your 4, 5, 6. And McIver today is 0 for 3. Takes strike one from Cody Deason. Sends this one off foul. Not many Gatemen fans sticking around for this one tonight.
Well, it's cold. To their credit, there were a lot to begin this ball game, a lot more than the weather might have dictated. So good for the fans at Spillane.
0-2 is called. Strike 3. McIver knew it as soon as the pitch dropped.
Yeah, second time that's happened to him tonight. Sort of another disappointing performance from McIver. Don't know when he's going to turn it around, but he's been one of the key players for the Gatemen. And as long as he keeps struggling, they'll continue to miss the mark offensively. He's one of their table setters.
Duran. Reached on an error in the third. Other than that, he's been retired. By way of the K. Has struck out looking. Back in the second, and then struck out swinging to end the fifth. Gatemen batters have struck out 7 times tonight. Coming in, having the least amount of strikeouts in the Cape Cod Baseball League at 264. It is tough to strike these guys out.
They don't want to strike out. You know, they put the ball in play, and to their credit, that's something they're very good at. It's not tonight.
Only score update that's still in play right now, other than this ball game. Chatham over Harwich 3-1 at Veterans Field, top 6. It will be an interesting fight between the 3 and 4 spots in the East. The Anglers, who are sitting in the 3rd position right now, as Duran will strike out for the 3rd time tonight.
For the first time this season, Jacob, the conversation in the West shifts to 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, and 5. Their way out of it to 1, 2, 3, and then there's 4 and 5. The Gatemen are becoming dangerously close to matching the Hyannis Harbor Hawks for points scored. I don't know what the tie-breaking procedures are, but hopefully Wareham doesn't have to face those.
Want to know to Robbie Metz, who made an unbelievable catch back in the 7th inning to rob Brandon Shearer of a hit and possibly extra bases.
Well, the good news for Wareham is the playoff tiebreaker methods. The first thing you go to is run differential, and unless Hyannis scores 100 runs and gives up none in their past couple of games, I don't think they're even close.
I mentioned that Chatham-Harwich game. Jack Perkins, the starting pitcher for Chatham. So far, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 6 Ks. Metz is swing and miss.
If this score stands, the Gatemen run differential will fall below 20 for the first time since before the 5-game winning streak. That'll be horribly disappointing.
This one chopped foul and appeared to get the helmet of Metz.
It might have hit him right in the forehead. He looks a little bit shaken up. He's a trooper, tells the dugout he's fine. He'll continue with a 2-2.
Two outs, nobody on. 2-2 pitch.
Deason trying to strike out the side here.
And he won't be able to, as Metz will walk down to first. At least he won't be able to do it in a row.
John Topin, not much of a strikeout candidate. He fights on every pitch, on every occasion. He's among the league leaders in strikeouts, but when there's runners on base, he finds a way to put the ball in play.
No balls and 1 strike. Topa takes strike 2. Topa hitting .264 with runners and runners on base. 0-2. He struck him out. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Cody Deason. This offense has been silenced since the 2nd inning. This crowd is silenced. Everyone is very quiet right now. 7-2 ball game here at Spillane.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
We head to the ninth. That's Spillane Field. Jacob Toby, Connor Federico, Claudia Chikamian, our sideline reporter, Matt Feld, our beat writer, Matt Weaselthair, our producer, bringing you this game on the Gatemen Baseball Network. 7-2 lead for the Firebirds. Steven Scott to lead it off against Cody Smith. And Scott takes ball one. A 4-run 6th inning for the Birds. Put the Gatemen in a hole. And the best team in the league showing what it takes to get it done after being down a couple runs early.
It's what they do. And they're so successful.
And they have the right attitude. Talking to Kelly Nicholson at the All-Star game, saying it's about how you finish. He knew the team was playing well, and he's been telling them that it's how you finish. We have to keep pushing on. It's not the end goal is to have a good record in the regular season. The end goal is to win that chip.
And take down YD, a team in your division who's been performing just as admirably. 3-time defending champion of this league. These Orleans players got a feeling they want the title.
2-2 to center. Backtracking is Quan. He makes the catch. One of the two powerhouses will not make it to the championship. Well, rather, they both could not make it.
Yeah, I mean, you need a miracle run from Chatham or Brewster.
Technically speaking.
Not sure if that'll happen. I mean, it is Coach Schiff's final year there in Chatham. They've got him a 3-game winning streak right now. Kelly Nicholson, he speaks so highly of Coach Schiffner from Chatham.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, they have some history. They've been there. A great rivalry, Orleans and Chatham. One of the best, if not the best, in all of college summer baseball.
I would say Chatham has a better chance of completing an upset, more so than Brewster.
Yeah, Brewster's just lost so much pitching. They've picked guys up, and we're still waiting to see if the Gatemen will make any moves with a week left in the season. It might be too late now. There might be some guys who want the opportunity. This bullpen is depleted, and they haven't been performing optimally. Maybe you ask some other guys to come in and get the job done right. Cody Smith's been all right, though, tonight.
1-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, says Jeff January. Well, you might have to start looking around at some D3 options. The Gatemen had to do it last year. Ezekiel Sanchez coming over from UMass Dartmouth. Inserted into the lineup immediately. And even into the playoff lineup. 2-2 pitch to Kasser, and the throw was late. So Nico Decolati legging it out for a one-out infield single in the top of the ninth.
Kasser it didn't seem like he got a good read on that ground ball. He's a little disappointed with himself. Had nothing to do with the throw. He was just back on the outfield grass, never came in and charged on that one. You know, Decolati's got the speed to beat it out, but he just waits and waits and waits. And that'll always lead to an infield single. It could be me running down the first base line, but if you give the runner too much time,
Brandon Shearer finds the bat head on it a tad bit, but fouls it back.
just, if you told me during the 5-game winning streak that this team would go on to lose 7 straight, I would have called you bananas. Impossible. No way. But you lose some key players and some ones who were performing stop performing. It's, I don't know. It's just, it's a different vibe around here right now. This is the vibe that was at McKeon Park just a week ago when the Gatemen were there and beat Hyannis 10-1. Since Hyannis came here to Spillane, beat the Gatemen. Gatemen are on their way to losing 7 straight. It almost sickens me to my stomach.
8-9-1 coming up for the Gatemen. Anchia, Sable, and Quan. Really, all the options you have, you don't have much off the bench due to injury. Nick Angelini, Ben Baird, and Nate Fosnot, who really can only pinch run for you.
We believe he's going home,
as Matt Feld reports.
He's usually right. The only thing he hasn't been right about on a constant basis is the weather.
Who's been right with the weather? As this one's driven to left. So Shearer is on for the 3rd time tonight. And now that will bring up Lars Nupar, who struck out looking to end the 7th, but had the RBI single in the 6th. Part of back-to-back RBI singles, first from Nupar, then from Riley.
You see a conversation happening on the third base side. Talking strategy, even up 5 runs at this point in the ball game. Orleans never takes their foot off the gas pedal. The Gatemen did in the 2nd inning when they were up 2-0. Had a chance to strike some more in the 2nd and the 3rd. Couldn't either opportunity. And in the 4th, too.
First pitch swinging, hits off the chest of Sable, will flip to Smith. In time, takes a nasty hop on Sable. Runners do advance with 2 outs in the 9th.
Good job by the catcher converted first baseman by just getting his chest on the ball. That one nowhere near Sable's glove. It hopped right over. Nasty hop here at Spillane, like you said, and Sable knocks it down with his body, keeps it in front, makes a good toss to Smith. Good work by Smith getting over there. This is a tough situation with 2 outs, 2 runners in scoring position. A lead any more than 5 might be unsurmountable. Too tall of a hill to climb for Wareham's offense.
Brandon Riley will step in. Singled and scored in the 8th. Fitzstadler got the start tonight for Wareham. 5 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned. 1 walk, a couple strikeouts. 1-0 down the third base line, but it's fouled and right off that right leg of Riley as he's down.
Yeah, good acting job by Riley right there. I'm not saying he didn't get hit. I'm just saying that I don't think the umpire noticed until he went down. Now Orleans trainer and Kelly Nicholson will go look.
Riley dealing with some pain right now. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs. A 5-run deficit for the Wareham Gatemen. They're going to lift up the pant leg of Riley for a moment. He's still limping. And he will leave this ball game.
Nobody here at Spillane to give him a nice little ovation as he walks off under his own power. Glad to see he's okay enough to do that.
We'll see who they pick off the bench. Riley in right field tonight. It'll probably be either Kevin Stroshine or Steve Passatempo. Salazar was already checked in, as well as Hopi. And Grosjean's on the bench as a catcher for the Firebirds. And Cody Smith has to warm up on the mound for a bit.
Kevin Stroshine, the new batter. He'll face a 1-1 count.
Attention please, a pinch hitter for the Firebirds, now batting number 16, Kevin Stroshine from Tennessee Tech.
Stroshine on the season, 253, no home runs, 10 RBIs. Now he's down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stroshine is 0 for 8 so far versus Wareham this season with 2 strikeouts. And Smith 1 strike away from ending this inning. Runners at second and third. Strike 3 called. Smith gets out of the inning as he strikes out Stroshine, and that will do it in the top. We head to the bottom. Gatemen trying to make a comeback. They are down by 5. Can they do it?
Baseball Factory, which has proudly supported the Cape Cod League for 17 seasons, conducts baseball training, tournaments, and showcases at over 600 events nationwide, providing players with world-class instruction. The Baseball Factory program leads to future success both on and off the field for players aged 8 to 18. Learn more at baseballfactory.com.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
1 half inning left, and guess what happens? We lose the video feed. Sorry about that if you're watching. We apologize. Jake Anchia just took ball 1 outside. It'll be Anchia, Sable, and Quan. And he takes strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, if you're just tuning in, sorry about the video feed. Trying to work on that, but as of right now, there is no feed. The 1-1 sent foul off to the right and out of play. A 7-2 lead for the Orleans Firebirds. Brooks Wilson is the new pitcher for the Birds, making his 10th appearance. 2-0 with a 1.50 ERA. 15 strikeouts, 5 walks. Facing Anchia, who is 2 for 3 today. Grounds this one foul past Jimmy Francos, the third base coach.
Everybody suited up now. It's a really cold night. Tristan Pompey emerging from the Gatemen locker room.
Wearing, of course, his Kentucky blue sweatshirt as that ball was taken low. 2-2. Here comes the pitch. It's inside. And Anchia has worked a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Anchia, last time around, grounded out to Shearer at third to end the inning. 3-2. Nice contact, but right to Gonzalez at short. The throw is in time. And there is 1 gone in the bottom of the 9th.
Hard hit ground ball by Anchia. He usually hits everything pretty hard. Really great power hitter. That's baseball. Hit it right to the shortstop. He makes a good throw on a first, and here comes Blake Sable.
The kid. He's 1 for 3 today. And he takes strike 1 over the outside part of the plate from Brooks Wilson. So again, Orleans trying to finish the regular season undefeated to tie the most wins in franchise history with 31. As this one's fouled off to the left. No balls and 2 strikes.
With Nate Foss not going home, I believe Blake Sable is the only remaining rising sophomore in the position players category for the Gatemen.
Wilson, the 0-2. Swung on a miss to drop third strike. Opportunity here. Down to first. The throw is off. And Sable's going to head to second. The ball all the way to the wall down the right field line. And Sable reaches second base.
Tough break for the catcher there. Just couldn't squeeze it, trying to pick it up and throw it on to first. Pretty big mistake.
Here comes Nick Angelini batting for Stephen Kwan.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is much of a tactical move. Maybe just a get Angelini in at bat move. All these Gatemen position players, they're going to start to play a lot more. In a game like this, maybe just give Kwan a rest for the rest of the inning.
Kwan 1 for 4 on the day. Nick Angelini coming in at his spot in the lineup. Taking ball 1 up high and in on a fastball. Again, we apologize for no video feed. Just happened during the break after the top of the 9th. Currently working on the issue. 1-0 is called a strike on the outside part. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. A 7-2 ball game at Spillane Field. The Firebirds are 2 outs away from sending Wareham to their 7th consecutive loss. Check swing from Angelini. He does go around. 1-2.
Yeah, good pitch. Good pitch to hit there. Angelini decides not to go.
One-two pitch. Whiffed at and missed. The ball gets away from the catcher. Haley doesn't know where it is. And Angelini will advance to first on the drop third strike. Advancing to third is Blake Sable. Gatemen will take it.
Yeah, the pitcher Brooks Wilson's probably like, come on, man. That was outnumbered 2 and 3 to his catcher Salazar. Just not getting the proper bounces in the Spillane Field dirt. The last time Orleans will be here this regular season. Maybe we could see a championship matchup between these two. Who knows? Who knows?
Tanner Dotson stepping in from the left side. Taking ball 1 outside. One ball and no strikes to Dotson, who struck out looking back in the 7th. Runner goes to second. Angelini will get there safely, no throw.
Yeah, I don't think the catcher Salazar cares very much, but Angelini takes off the game-ending double play ball possibility.
2-0 pitch from Wilson is sent foul.
I've yet to see Dodson put a good swing on the ball today. He's just been unlucky in his past couple of appearances, battling the injury bug.
2-1 pitch from Wilson. Check swing. It's called strike 2. On the outside part of the plate. Framed nicely by Hale.
I'd say the outside part of the righty's batter's box.
Pitch outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Not much more to say about this game. It's been pretty disappointing to say the least.
And Dotson takes ball 4. And Kyle Kasser will come to the plate with a chance to make this a 1-run ball game.
The Gatemen, by some wild chance, load the bases with nobody out. I mean, load the bases with 1 out. They load the bases with no hits. Get 2 drop third strikes and a walk. Suddenly, the tying run is on deck.
Ben Baer will pinch run for Dotson. At first base, Kyle Kasser now to the plate from the left side. So Sable is the runner at third. Angelini at second, Baird at first. Kasser takes ball 1 outside. Wilson looking on to his catcher. 1-0. On the ground, through the right side and in for a base hit. Sable will score from third. They'll hold Angelini. Gatemen get 1 run back. It's 7-3.
Tying runs at the plate. Oh my goodness. What's going on in this game? Still a long way to go. Here comes Willie McIver with a chance.
Jamie Quinn, the pitching coach for Orleans, coming out to talk to Deason. His second year as the pitching coach with Orleans. And Willie McIver will step in. Brooks Wilson on the mound, excuse me, not Cody Deason.
Deason had a good day against the Gatemen, though. This is the first run the Gatemen have scored since the 2nd inning. Yesterday, the Gatemen scored their only run in the 2nd inning. So maybe the Gatemen lull Orleans to sleep for the rest of the game and try to mount a furious comeback here in the 9th.
1 out in the inning. McIver sends it to the third baseman, Shearer. He'll go across the diamond to first, retire McIver. Another run will score. Angelini from third. Now a 3-run ball game. Gatemen still trail it, 7-4.
Tying run is Jaron Duran. He walks up to the plate. Just need another hit to keep this rally going. Scoreline doesn't look too bad now for the Gatemen. Finding some ways to put up runs late in the evening.
Duran has struck out 3 times and reached on an error. And he takes ball 1 on the inside part. Again, we apologize for no video feed here in the 9th.
Inexplicable.
1-0 is taken for strike 1 on a fastball.
I've met and worked with some of the most talented producing and production and technical minds this summer that I ever have before, and somehow the video goes down in the 9th.
It's not always perfect. 1-1. Duran sends it straight back. And now the Wareham Gatemen are down to their final strike.
Duran won't make this easy for Wilson. He's not that kind of batter. Doesn't have that kind of heart. He'll fight to the very last.
Ben Baird at third. Kyle Kasser at second. The tying run is Jaron Duran. 1-2 pitch. Just missing on the outside part. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gatemen, they were up 2-0 in the 2nd inning. Getting 2 runs on a Jake Anchia double. Now down 3. 2-2 pitch is sent to the left and out of play, foul.
Gatemen have used all their position players on the bench. And the only option you have left is Cody Smith, who's on the mound, in case somebody goes down and this game continues.
2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 runners on, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. And Duran fighting to stay alive. Well, that would mean then someone else would have to pitch that isn't.
Orleans hoping they don't even have to think about that.
No. Runners at second and third. 2 outs in the inning. Jaron Duran at the plate. He's the tying run as the Gatemen trail 7-4 to the Firebirds. Here comes the pitch. Sends it out to left field. And making a diving play is Steven Scott to end the ball game. The catch from Steven Scott sends the Wareham Gatemen to their 7th straight loss. The first time they've lost 7 in a row since 2013. They dropped this one 7-4 to the Orleans Firebirds.
At home, when you needed to get it against the best team in the league, and you'll have another shot against this same club tomorrow. Coaching staff from the Gatemen shaking hands with Orleans coaching staff. They'll see each other tomorrow. Sort of, bitter on the side of Wareham. Just can't get any wins together. This game, it says 7-4 on the scoreboard. Didn't feel nearly as close. Felt like an astounding victory for Orleans, and they played like they were the better side. Standings show they're the better side. The Gatemen, they've got heart somewhere deep down in there, and they need to show it sooner than later.
Thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andrew Lang. The producers of today's broadcast are Nick Veronesi and Matt Wieselthaler. Our sideline reporter is Claudia Chikamian. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Gatemen travel to Orleans to finish their home-and-home with the Firebirds. The game starts at 5:30. Our coverage begins at 5 with Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. For Connor Federico, I'm Jacob Toby. The Wareham Gatemen dropped this one to the Firebirds 7-4. Thanks for tuning in to this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.